triplehorny.com. Finally.
Oh,
Whoa!
Chuck.
Buy it right now. Get it.
We're voices are live. Hi everybody. I've just got to fix a few more things here and then we'll be good.
Everybody's OBS stuff broke today, apparently.
Yeah, OBS was not responding for me at all. I had to restart the computer.
Oh, really? I didn't have any issues.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have not. Usually I get everything kind of like reset in the morning, so it could have just been, sitting around doing something wrong over time. Broke it, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who gives?
Decides.
Isn't it weird that they made a new Fraggle Rock?
Yeah.
It's like on
They
there
did what
now. They made a new Fraggle Rock.
They also made an old Fraggle Rock, Sean.
What? Oh, this was a couple years. Oh, it was on Apple TV. That's why
I think it's still even on, but yeah, Fraggle Rock is just around again, but like no one cares anymore because
I'm gonna look up the.
back when Fraggle Rock was a thing, it was like one of 5 kids shows, and now there's 200,000.
Yeah. Well, TV nowadays is people don't care about 99% of it. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you just throw something at the wall, hope that sticks.
I did hear the one note you played for us. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, we heard the fart you made out of a trumpet.
That's all you need. Trumpets are just like farts, but horned.
Yeah, they're mouth fart with sound.
Yeah, mouth fart.
In tune.
Okay. Tunedfarts.com.
Get it.
Tunefarts.mp3.
Yeah, I think we're good. Well, I got a tweet. I should tweet other than that.
Yeah, but like, what are you gonna tweet? We're here. That's gonna take.
We're doing a podcast.
Game Mess.
Viewership does go up when Jeff tweets, so you know what?
It
doesn't hurt.
Is live, and I swear it's not a musical.
Is that movie this weekend or something?
Wait, is that a musical?
It is this weekend. I think people are expecting it to not do well now. Apparently, everyone who sees it hates it.
Oh, so that's a lie. This is always a musical. Mike's on a show.
Nah.
Well, that's the joke, is I'm lying.
You're 2 for 2 on those good quality jokes this week, Jeff.
Hey, I never said my delivery was good. It'll work as a tweet. I promise it'll work as a tweet.
I think we're a little early for that, Mike. Oh, okay.
Oh,
that's a note there. I was trying to do something. What did I drop? Oh, my other tin whistle.
We're starting. I'm sorry, just trying to keep you on your toes. Okay, let's see here. There's that.
I can do that. My ankle hurts. It'd be bad for me.
Are you using your feet to pick up your flute and you
Yeah,
you don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I'm glad you got this on air, Jeff. Perfect.
Oh yeah, this is good. Look at that. That's good foot picking up posture right there.
I'm really scared if it's the tin whistle though, because like if this was anything else, I'd say that's okay. But if it's
the Woody. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, he got it. Don't worry, everybody. He got the Woody with his feet, and I do have the camera angle, but that's for the OnlyFans.
This is a C.
That's like putting. Now you're gonna.
It's called.
Yeah, you're not gonna put that in your mouth, are you?
Like, yeah, it's like putting.
I'm gonna clean it.
Okay.
Calm down. That's not my normal one. That's my C Woody. This is my D.
How
normal
many?
D.
I should record this intro. So now that I think about it.
Yeah. That's a failure on your part.
You're correct. That's the only failure this week from my part. Nothing else happened. No.
Nikki revealing a lot about themselves in chat, saying you can put feet in your mouth. Okay.
Okay. I think we could start the show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure. After he inhaled his grandpa's feet.
It was my dad's, first off.
Oh, your dad's.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Get it right or pay the price.
Starting in 5, 4, 3. The internet, you're busy, let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, people hate Shattered Space DLC for Star. I just wrote that before I really knew what we were going to do today. Listen, not much is going on. I took today off, so the entire industry took, news off. And I think that's very thoughtful and considerate of them. We do have an update on our guessing game for Open Critic, right? We have that. We'll have to pick new games. Is that how it works? Do we have the results?
We'll get both. We'll probably get the results in the new games, and I also found a new top 10 list for us to fix.
Oh, the fix list is in, everybody. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. But first, Mike Minotti, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready for the weekend. Starting to cool off a little bit here. I went to that AEW show yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Was it a good time? I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite show. Not like most AEW shows, it went too long because like they had to film Rampage and Ring of Honor stuff also. But on the bright side, when it was the Ring of Honor main event, which was like the last thing they filmed at like midnight or whatever, me and my buddy just like went down to the floor and kind of, sat like 3 rows behind the ring. So that was a cool experience. Never really did that before. And
you got your tickets for Joker Folia Dude, right? You're ready for that?
Man.
It's a musical. You love musicals.
You couldn't drag me to it. I did not see the first one. At least everyone hates this one. I also had no interest in the last one, but I had to hear like a lot of friends and family tell me how like deep and amazing it was. Well,
I saw it, Mike, and I could tell you it was not. It was.
You saw it?
Yeah. At some point, I didn't like go to the theater and watch it.
Oh, Mike. The first one. Sure.
Yeah. I honestly, I think I might have torrented the first one anyhow. But
good.
Yeah, I think I was like, yep, that's just kind of boring, is what it was. I don't really remember much of it now. I am morbidly curious about this one though, because it does seem like it's headed for a brick wall at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that happens. So somehow all my friends get morbidly curious about bad movies. I do too sometimes, but it has to be a certain kind. Like you've all seen Megalopolis or are planning to or something like that. Yeah, you can't. I mean, as soon as everyone said that Borderlands was horrible, that's when you like had to go out and see it. I do get it. I used to be more into that myself. It's funny because of my general disinterest in movies, it even extends to my old love of watching bad movies. Sure. I don't even want to do that as much anymore.
Yeah, I get it. I think I'm just in the mood for that. Part of it is it's fun to write the negative Letterboxd review. Like that clearly is part of it for me these days. So yeah, and you want to be part of the social media trend for Megalopolis, and I bet this weekend would be a lot of fun for Joker.
That's the worst sentence you've ever said. And you want to be a part of the social media trend for Megalopolis?
Yes, on the good social media network, Letterboxd. Without it, yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's a problem for sure. The real thing I have to look forward to is on Monday we're going to a baseball game. The Tigers and the Guardians are playing against one another in the playoffs. Yeah. I'm so excited. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, how cool is that? I don't think I've ever actually. I don't think I've ever been to a playoff game. There was one. It might have even been a World Series game I was going to go to, and it was pretty early on my Crohn's, and my Crohn's was acting up, so I didn't go. It's fine, though, because they never, won those World Series or anything. So yeah, this will be great. It's going to really remind me of back when we went to the 90s, and it was always packed at where the Guardians play, because they had, like, the sellout streak forever when they were an amazing team in the 90s. And, these days they will get decent crowds sometimes, but a lot of times not so decent. So it'll be fun to just see that place packed again.
Oh yeah. It's going to probably be a very good atmosphere. Really looking forward to it. That should be game 2. So it's like nothing will be settled at that point. Anything is possible still. It'll be good.
We should come up with a bet of some kind.
Yes. Open to suggestions, everybody. But yeah, some kind of fun, friendly bet. That'll be a good time. If I win, you have to play Alone in the Dark for the Wii again.
Can I at least try the 360 version?
Yeah, sure.
Is that
sure,
on Steam?
Sure, why not? I do. Part of me feels like we should save that for Blight Club, like that, because that could be anybody's game still. But obviously, possibly yours. But
yeah, but it's just for me, it might not work as a Blight Club game because I'll be like, oh, this is so much better.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, although apparently it's weird in different ways, and I would be interested to see that. But maybe, yeah, who knows? All right, so let's explain what we do here. That's what I say on Game This Morning, so I'm not actually looking at the rundown. So here's what I say here. Thank you for joining us. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening. Hit a like button here on YouTube or wherever you're listening. Helps people find the show. If you want to ask a question, you could drop a super chat during the program. We'll get to all of those before the end here on YouTube. Thanks to Carlos Ain, who is Insane in the Rain music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to 1UP vs. CPU for our artwork. You can find more at 1UpVersusCPU.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Christian for producing. And you can get more from Mike and me and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That's patreon.com/GameMess, which gets you access to our Discord server, participation in Q&A sessions, and our game club discussions. I owe everybody a Q&A session. That'll happen here pretty soon. Early access to new episodes of Game Mess Jeopardy and Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. We're recording a new episode of Columbros tonight.
Wow.
Looking forward to it.
Columbro goes to England.
Columbro's in England. Columbo goes to England. It'll be a good time.
I'm wearing my London shirt.
Yeah, there it is.
Cute.
Friendly reminder, you can also become a supporter by becoming a YouTube member right here as we're doing this, or a Twitch subscriber to either one of our Twitch channels. So when Mike's streaming, when you subscribe, that gets you all the same stuff we just said. So feel free to take advantage of that.
Got a bunch of spooky games I'm going to stream this month. We got Resident Evil 3 Remake because of Game as Game Club. I want to do Dead Rising Remastered, and then maybe get into Dino Crisis for Dreamcast. There's also that Silent Hill 2 Remake. I'll probably check that out at some point too when it comes out.
What I'm trying to remember. Did we decide that actually, did the reporting bear out that Code Veronica is actually going to be the next remake that they do?
There's a lot of weird stuff floating around, and nobody knew what to believe in. And now I'm at a point I don't know. I guess we'll find out. There were a lot of rumors and conflicting ones. I think you might be right that the last one that people thought seemed the most reliable was maybe talking about Code Veronica and maybe even 0 and not 5. So I don't know. I'll take what I can get. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, no complaints. Whatever they're gonna do, I'm down for anything Resident Evil these days.
It does seem like we're more expecting 9 before any of that.
Oh yeah. That's the next one for sure, without a doubt. Yes. All right. Big topics. Let's do it. And by big, not that big, and a lot of stuff that's kind of a little bit refried here because, again, not a lot of fresh news today. But let's start here. Our friend Jason Schreier dropped by the Bombcast. We talked to him. Got us kind of talking about his book quite a bit, which I'm more interested in than ever. Play Nice, The Rise, Fall, and Future of Blizzard Entertainment, I think is the actual subtitle.
Sounds
there.
about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and as part of his book tour, he's doing a lot of interviews, and he's dropped some tidbits on various programs. I just wrote down a couple here. Guerrilla is working on Horizon Online for the most part, and again, that is when I talk, you kind of reminded people that this was happening, not breaking news by any means. It's just I think a lot of people forget these things. They get in their head I can't wait for the next Horizon, or the next thing Guerrilla is doing is Horizon 3, and they're not because they don't care about Horizon Online. I think a lot of people forget about Horizon Online, and it's maybe you shouldn't, because that is going to be the next big push from that studio. Or
I think the last time
they really say they will be.
I think the last time we heard about it was in a pre-Concord word. I think a lot of people forgot, and when you remind them about that now, it is kind of like an ooh.
It's a different, right? It's a completely different tone now, where it's okay, I guess beforehand, and now it's are you sure that's what you want to do? And I bet Sony's no, we're not sure about any of this. We don't know what we're doing. I don't know what any of this shit is. And so we'll see. Again, and we were talking to Jason says he doesn't know if that game's ever going to come out. It might, but it also might not. And that's kind of the sense you get from all of those live service projects. But that's the one from, Herman Holst's old stomping grounds, from the franchise that they seem to be favoring the most right now. And they have a lot of people at Guerrilla working on it. If that one doesn't come out, it kind of feels they are just scrapping this entire idea of live service games. And I don't know, maybe they should. I really don't know the answer for them.
Yeah, exactly. It seems kind of scary. And, you talked about this number before, but it's when has this online version of one of these games really panned out recently? I mean, Grand Theft Auto Online was a very big thing.
Yeah, you kind of can't count that one, right? That's
right.
Whole different thing.
Even Red Dead Redemption Online, which seemed like a slam dunk, right? Even that didn't really seem to do much. Freaking Last of Us factions just didn't happen. Spider-Man's also, that was canceled, right? The multiplayer Spider-Man one. So okay. So what's I don't know. It all seems a little weird. We'll see. Maybe there is an appetite for this. Maybe it can be done well. But I think it's a safer bet would have just been, let's just make Horizon 3. And I get why you don't want to do that, because you're well, how does Horizon 3 make more money than Horizon 2? Maybe there's no way it can. But Horizon Online could make more money than Horizon 2. Now, it can also make a lot less, but people are so desperate for that line to go up that they'll take risks, not creative risks, but just kind of weird financial ones.
Jason also mentioned that a StarCraft shooter is in the works. This is something that maybe we've heard as well in the past, but it was like, and that this was him being like, and guess what? Blizzard's working on a StarCraft shooter. It was very much like, this is a company that is always looking for new ways to express on franchises that they've worked with a bunch of times. And StarCraft 3 is maybe not happening. So what are they doing with that? Well, one time they tried StarCraft Ghost. And then in like the mid 20-teens, like 2018, I think they were making StarCraft Ares. And now
that was like StarCraft Battlefield was basically what that was. That was like the StarCraft 2 like director and whatnot working on that one. It seems like when that fell apart, well, that's when he left, and a lot of people have since left, and that's why it's like, oh, even if we want to make a StarCraft 3 or even a Warcraft 4, we don't really have a person who can lead a big RTS project right now, which is a big bummer.
Yep. And so what are they doing with StarCraft? Well, they are once again working on a shooter. And what does that mean? Like, is that the future of StarCraft? Well, there's no reason to think that would necessarily be the case, because the history proves they don't release these games. They start working on them and then they don't ever release them. So once again, it's like, hey, yeah, it's illustrative of how things work at Blizzard a little bit, and maybe their desires and their hopes to keep StarCraft relevant. But whether or not we actually see that game, of course, remains to be seen.
And, I think we're hearing a lot of tidbits from Jason from this book that about like a lot of Blizzard projects that never really came to fruition. And, a lot of them sound like slam dunks, just like StarCraft Ghost seemed like a great idea. And, a lot of weird circumstances took that one down. But, like after Diablo 2,
it was an old gen game by the time it was coming out, and they thought that would be a big problem because the game cost $50, so Walmart wouldn't put it on their shelves or something. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And like that was a time where it wasn't some easy thing to just suddenly be like, well, we're going to target Xbox 360 now instead. No, you can't just push a button. But Starblow, right? Like the Diablo 2 team was we're just gonna make a StarCraft or a sci-fi one of those. So that seems like a slam dunk. That didn't happen, and basically all Blizzard North, which was the team that made Diablos, eventually disintegrated. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting tidbits there. I'm excited to read the whole book, especially to like get that full story on Titan, which eventually became Overwatch, and then like the weird kind of like Overwatch becoming a victim of its own success story. There's just so many interesting threads here. The book comes out on October 8th, I believe. So yeah, I'm going to be picking that one up.
Yep, you can pre-order it now. Tony Hawk says there will be a future of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. He was celebrating the 25th anniversary. That game is 25 years old. Deeply upsetting. Quarter of a century. Don't love that. But he kind of was glazing up the series because it's important to him. Of course it is. And he recognizes how important it is to everybody else. At the end of the message, he said, I am not supposed to, I think, like tease what's next or what's the future will hold. But he says there will be a future. And he's referring specifically to the games. And again, well, you could maybe interpret that in a more pessimistic way. But as I've said a couple times now, I'm being pretty optimistic. I think we're getting the real full deal next Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I'll be very excited about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 remake, or like, I know everyone like assumes 3 and 4 because we had 1 and 2. It's a little weirder there since 3 and 4 are very different styles. They want to just kind of be one game as easily. Yeah, they could do it anyways. Or, I don't know if they would just jump to Thug, but you do that. But it seems like maybe the easier thing to do is actually let's just make a new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But there are some questions like, are you able to do another session-based Tony Hawk game these days, or do you have to do another open world one? If you do one of those, does that maybe get a little kind of out of control? The last time we had an original Tony Hawk game, it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which is terrible. Even like the ones before that were, the peripheral ones.
Was Project 8 the actual last one?
8 was like the last, what we would call a normal one before 5. Yeah, because it was the 8th one. And before that was 5, yes. Wasteland, right? And so...
I never played Wasteland. I played Skateland a ton.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think I played way more Skateland. Yeah. I forget it was Wasteland or 8 where like the big thing was like use the analog sticks to do the custom tricks thing. And I was like, I don't care. It seemed like there was some whimsy lost in the franchise by the time we got to Wasteland. It was kind of taking itself a little seriously.
Yeah, and I think that's what I liked about Skateland is it had the cell shading and looked more cartoony and kind of fun, and the levels were great, and it played great on DS. What a good game.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Proving Grounds. That was one of them also.
Proving Ground. Yeah. Oh, man.
Now, wait a sec. Okay, Proving Grounds was after 8 then.
Yeah.
Because 1, 2, 3, 4, the Two Thugs, then Wasteland, Project 8, Proving Grounds.
Okay. Yep, that sounds about
go.
right. There was a Downhill Jam on DS maybe, but Downhill Jam was also like on the Wii.
Right, Downhill Jam was like the weird launch title racing game only of Tony Hawk, and it was,
and they made that because Tony Hawk says he likes Downhill Jams. Like they're like, okay, I guess that's what we're making. So it's like there was a time when he could just be the producer of the game and say, "Give me this," and they would make it. Ubisoft seems screwed.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed Shadows delayed because Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. 1 million copies sold in the first month, maybe. They are putting Assassin's Creed Shadows into February because it's a buggy mess. They want to finish it before they release it. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I guess so. That game better hit. We were also talking to Jason about just the state of big AAA games and how kind of messed up it seems right now. And for almost everybody, I do think, assuming that Dragon Age gets good reviews, and I expect it will. Like if it gets like 85 or more, if it gets 85 or more of like an average score, and it doesn't sell well, then I'm like really kind of like we might be done here, everybody. I don't know, because Outlaws selling 1 million copies, and I know it didn't have the best reviews and had some problems and whatnot, but man, just 1 million used to kind of assume there'd be a little bit more there. So I'm curious. Is it more of these other problems that people are trying to pin it on? Like everyone assuming that Ubisoft games are going to go on sale, like Star Wars fatigue? Or is it this bigger systemic problem that people just aren't buying as many new big games anymore as they used to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really is just kind of all those factors coming together and creating this huge headwind for these kinds of AAA games. I've kind of talked about this a little bit over the past few weeks. Like this general topic has been coming up for a very long time, but especially it's been very acute since Concord. And we're trying to like diagnose exactly what's happening here. But I think the simple solution is people are very happy with playing games that are free or that they already own. And then when you come out with a new game, it's very easy for them to or they begin searching for excuses to not want to spend money on it. And there's a lot of baggage with something like a Star Wars or Assassin's Creed or a game from Ubisoft or a game from EA or a game from any variety of publishers. And that stuff began I will be, Dragon Age Veilguard, the Veilguard will be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Like it will be, can that just overcome all this stuff? Can the headwinds that are trying to build with a bunch of weirdos online and the game, kind of like having some weird, we're going to change the focus of the title a little bit and all that stuff. And the weird E3 or Summer Game Fest trailer and stuff like that. Some of the stuff's it's like, okay, you begin to piece this together and does this snowball into a big problem that then manifests into people not wanting to spend money when it launches. It feels like that's still on the table. And if the game is good enough to overcome that, will it actually overcome that? It's going to be interesting to pay attention to it. But if I'm one of these big companies and I am deciding this year what to begin investing money in to release in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I feel less confident than ever in any bet. And I think what's happening now is going to, in a handful of years, kind of come back around and be like, man, where are these games from these companies? And I don't think there will be many. I think they will be very afraid to release stuff, and it will be very safe, or actually, surprisingly, more live service games, because they're like, I guess if this hits, at least we will make a lot of money for a couple of years. It's gonna be weird,
right? But even then, it's like, again, Helldivers 2 did hit, and it hit so well, and it's just like, oh, that didn't really seem to solve any problems, did it? I don't know. So
no, it doesn't seem like
it just gets scary times.
Starfield Shattered Space, people don't like it. Even people that like, for the most part, even people who like Starfield are not happy with this. And I think I tried to read some reviews, and my general takeaway as someone who hasn't played the game, the expansion, I should say, is that people are pointing out, yes, they did try to make something that is more in line with traditional Bethesda content, a planet with a bunch of points of interest that you'll be exploring. You'll walk in one direction, you'll find some stuff, sure, but it's not a great one of those. And then that also highlights the problems with the main game. And then it doesn't take any of the strengths of the main game, which would be like the new game +5, where you're seeing how things change over time and how your decisions affect things. So I don't know. Part of me is like, okay, this is them proving they really kind of can't figure this out, at least in this first expansion. Another part of me is like, it's just an expansion. It doesn't really mean, like, this was never going to make or break anything when I really sit down and try to think about it.
No, but there have been like some very well liked like Bethesda expansions in the past. I don't know if they've ever had to kind of like turn a game around necessarily, but still, I mean, it's like a 52 open critic right now. That's kind of shocking, especially since, you know, for as much as I think a lot of people eventually decided that they didn't like Starfield like me, game initially reviewed pretty well. So there was like some excitement there. So I'm not, I haven't played it yet. And part of me's like, do I want to play this? There's so many things to play. I don't even like normal Starfield. Here's a version of it people like less. Now, of course, some people do like it. Some like the big, you know, Starfield fans do. And you know, that's fine and all that.
I listened to Greg Miller's review earlier this week, and he was like at an 8 or 8.5, I think he said. And I think he was like, for the base game, I was at a 7 or a 7.5. So
really? Because I thought he freaking loved Starfield.
Yeah, listen, this is why it's like, I was happier when they were on their, I guess their fans hated their 5-point review scale, but it made way more sense because like he gave that game his game of the year. But he's like, but then when I have to describe it to other people, I got to say it's a 7. It's like, no, oh, honey, you guys have got it backward over there. You got to go figure this out again. I don't envy anybody who's like working with a community that's very obsessed with their grading scale, which is definitely what happens over there, I think. Yeah, I think they will move on from this still. They're not abandoning Starfield, but this is not the solve for the problems of that game. I think they're going to have to kind of keep updating the base game. And maybe do they now even have to keep updating this? I don't think that's what happens here. I don't think in a year they're like, and we updated Shattered Space to be something that you'll like.
Yeah. What's I find mildly interesting. So there's like 12,400 people in Starfield on Steam right now, active players, which is not bad, but there's like 11,750 in Fallout 4, which is only a little bit less in Fallout 4. So much older. You think there's ever going to be a Starfield 2? Especially considering like how long it takes to make a Fallout and a Elder Scrolls these days.
I mean, listen, on the grand scale of time, I think there's a chance in 25 years, like they're like, and guess what? Starfield 2, and by then it'll be like that will mean something so different. But I think the next 5 games from Bethesda have nothing to do with Starfield, so that puts us that far out. The next quarter of a century will not be Starfield heavy from Bethesda.
Man, the pressure sure is on with Elder Scrolls 6, huh?
Yep. But I mean, that's one that's kind of you paint by numbers a little bit, right? Like you
would say, but like maybe again, like you already see a little bit of like the things that everybody loved about Skyrim. Like people already turned their nose up to it a bit. Like, oh, that combat's actually really dull and boring now. I'm like, oh, guess what? You do a lot of actually in Skyrim. You do kind of swing your sword at shit.
Yeah. I get, but I just like if they get the exploration right, I'll be happy. But you're right. I mean, it could still very well be disappointing. I might be deluding myself even just saying that. All right, those are the big topics of the week. If there's stuff y'all want to talk about, though, we could do that in the super chats, which we'll get to right after this break. All right.
Good break.
I need an Oreo Coke Zero. I'll be right back.
Yep. Stat.
Oh,
I need it.
That sounds so good right now.
Cocaine.
Okay. Yeah, I should check out Star Citizen.
Should you though?
I'm like, again, morbidly curious, right? I want to just kind of see.
Didn't they say something about like we have like a 7-day work week or something shit like that?
Oh, Star Citizen people? That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I don't listen when they talk.
I don't like them since they did like one of their presentation once and they made fun of No Man's Sky. And since then I was like,
oh, sure.
Naughty Mike.
That's what I actually should go play is No Man's Sky. I should do that.
Yeah.
The game that like released and then they fixed and everything and now it's fucking awesome.
On like the 10th update or something. Yeah, 10th free update.
Yeah, it's not even out. They're still taking people money.
Okay.
I got beef.
I think we are good to get back into it.
Yes, I am ready.
We'll do super chats, and then I'll just get set up for all this stuff, and we'll just do all that in one segment. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
here we go.
Super chats and then break.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We are back, and Mike, we got a bunch of super chats. Why don't we hop right into it?
Sure thing. Jacob Bench says, thoughts on the Houston Texans? Please be nice.
I don't think about the Houston Texans all that frequently. Yeah, that's where I'm at with them.
I think about their boring name, and that's from somebody who's a Browns fan.
Yeah, for as much as I understand greenhouse gases being a problem, Houston Oilers was a fucking football team name. That's good stuff.
Andrew Glover, member on Lincoln's here for 6 months. Like he says, I have never been a sports fan, but just genuine hype for the Lions last year has made me into a Lions fan.
Yeah, that's a good bandwagon to hop on. It's because it's all good vibes right now, and they're playing pretty well, and they aren't playing their best football yet, and they've been such lovable losers. But not even lovable; they've just been losers for so long that everyone, it's easy to root for. There is no villainness to their winning right now.
I might be rooting for the Lions here.
Yep, hop on, everybody. Now's the time to do it. Do it with the Tigers as well, because they were 10 games out of the playoffs. Yeah, right, starting right now, and now they have the most winningest record since August.
When's the last time the Tigers won a World Series?
The 80s. I think Kirk Gibson.
Then no, fuck you. Fuck you. It's still our time.
Yep.
Let's go, Guards.
But the Brewers have never won, which is crazy to me that the Milwaukee Brewers have never won one. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah. That's a good name. Brewers. That's fun.
That's maybe the best baseball name.
Yeah. Ryan Allen says, I've had the Venga bus in my head all week because of Infrastructure Week. Jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Just how you feeling about Infrastructure Week?
I was sad I couldn't partake today, but the crew did a good job of building a theme park to your specifications. At least I started it, and
I still have to see what they did. Because they asked me for the 5 things that I'd look for in a theme park, and I just it's a very genuine list. But I'm like, are they gonna know what I mean by kinetic energy? I don't know.
I mean, let me see. Okay, what you mean by that is when you walk into one of these attractions, there should feel like they have put a lot of effort into every little thing, so it feels like there's stuff happening. I don't know.
No, that's not what that means. It's
well, okay. It's when you hold something up, that's potential energy, and you let go of something, that's kinetic energy.
It's the idea that you see a lot of kind of the moving parts of the theme park and the attractions, even as you're walking around the park, which is kind of an easy thing to do in a roller coaster park, but. So it's like I want to be able to see the train going by there and the steamboat going by over there, and here's like the one of the roller coasters going by over here, and it's right next to me. So it's kind of what makes a theme park feel alive to me.
Okay, fair enough. Oh no, you're
all right. Next one here is from Power Glover. Says Woof Woof to my dogs, Mikey Senpai. Please tell me I'm your favorite super chatter. Here is some simoleons for your beautiful boys. Damn sucks. XOXOXO JK. Yeah, sure. If you pay me to say you're my favorite, I'll do it. You're my favorite, Power Glover. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
It's still a top tier name.
Ali Merkel says, Shakes Mike, finish Dontro, please. I should. I need to. I gotta tell you what though, Jeff. That World of Warcraft War Within, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and
I
know you said you should and you need to, but you didn't say you're going to finish Dontro.
I've been playing a lot of War Within, actually. It's a very good, it kind of just does a lot of things I like. Like I like all these underground cave zones. There's a lot of dwarf stuff that I find fun. So they have this new system, this new content called Delves, which is basically solo dungeons.
Right.
And I know some people are like, oh, an MMO you play by yourself. But as some old guy who doesn't really want to have a guild night to go do a raid anymore, in fact, I could just do these and still get good loot and make progress on my character. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I've been enjoying War Within. I'll finish Dontro eventually. Simon from Saskatchewan says, because of you guys, my wife and I watched and bought the whole Columbo collection and Andor.
Yay.
Such great shows and awesome time investments. Also, Oreo Coke is amazing. Consider yourselves influencers. I do like influencing people. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I will put this in the package that we send out to advertisers, clearly. Yes, don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, just to be sure to tell us how much you like Arby's. Too. I noticed it was suspiciously missing.
Maybe we've been slipping, Mike. Maybe we haven't been hyping it up enough.
You're right. We got to bring it back. We'll do some more Arby's talk here. Cody Bishop says, "Are you excited for Silent Hill 2 remake?" I'm like, I don't know if I'm actively excited, but I'm like gonna be happy to play it, and I bet I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what sort of the meltdown or the anti-meltdown is for this game from fans, and then like from the wider audience as well. I want to kind of see like, oh, do people who haven't really played this before show up for this and enjoy themselves? I will be trying this game myself, but I have not played it yet, so kind of just going to be there with everyone else. Looking forward to it.
Jacob Bench says, Mike, please finish Final Fantasy 16 and Dawn Trail. Yeah, I do have the Steam version of Final Fantasy 16 now. Part of me is like, I should just restart it. And then I'm like, I don't want to restart it.
This is not your fault. If people enjoyed watching Dawn Trail as much as they enjoyed watching From Software games, you would have streamed that and you would have beaten it. This is not your fault.
It is, it is true. It's like, unless you're an MMO like content person, it can be kind of poison to your viewership to stream an MMO. It just is like that. Like even when like War Within was new and I was like streaming it, people dip, which like, I'm not like, that's not 100% determining what I stream, right? Like I'm doing the Souls games because it's fun.
Yes.
And it is also nice that people seem to like to watch that, but I, stream a lot of things.
It just makes it easier to choose it, that just a little bit.
It makes it a little easier. Siren from Saskatchewan with their 10th super chat says, have you ever thought of doing a swerve for Blade Club console reveals? Example, tell them it's a PS2 game, but it's really a PS1 game. Since it's backward compatible, it'll keep them sweating till the end. You have to be careful because like you need the right memory card then and stuff like that still, I think. Yeah. I did think about doing a gag when I was going to open the letter package that had alone the darken it with my address on it. I was going to like buy my own and just put Mario Galaxy 2 in it and open up be like, oh, you guys want me to play Mario Galaxy 2? How nice.
That would have been pretty good. I mean, we would have yelled at you a lot, but that would have been funny.
Michelle with just one with a nice super chat here with no message, but there's a nice hot dog attached to it. So thank you so much, Michelle.
I appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, El Grog says there's Starfield DLC. Quick, ask AJ Minotti. Oh, don't worry. He texts me. He's like, I've been enjoying it. I'm like, I'm sure.
Yeah, he said it.
But who knows though? We'll see. Hey, you Peekaboo says happy Trucktober, spooky month, Messers Technology. Yep. Do you feel spooky?
A little bit. I put up the Oogie Boogie like gateway thing that we have, the inflatable. And that's pretty spooky, but I've not put up the 12-foot Jack Skellington yet. So once I have that up, then I'll feel fully spooky.
You gotta do it. Come on, it's October.
I wanted to do it like 2 weeks ago, but Steph said it was too early and that she was afraid that the weather would erode it too much over like 6 weeks. So I'm like, okay, I think this is a good time. I'm going to put it up this weekend.
All right. I want to see it. I want to see it when I come to your house potentially on Monday. I'll tell you that. And if not, there's going to be trouble.
Oh, shit. All right.
A capital T.
Oh, no.
And that rhymes with P as in P for pool. Cody Bishop says the show From on Prime is like Lost. Same producers about people who get stuck in a small town with ghosts that come out at night. Spooky Lost. Spooky Lost.
I only just heard about this show because Justin McElroy was talking about it on Besties like last week or the week before. And he's like, there are so many scenes in this show. It was just
that's a funny thing to say.
And he's like, guys, you should watch. There's so many scenes. And I pay attention to some of them, sometimes most of them. I'm like, okay, I'll check this out.
It's like the king of Austria telling Mozart that his music has too many notes.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, I'm like, okay. And then apparently like, it's just nonsense. And I'm like, I like nonsense, so maybe I'll check it out. Although I did start Billions, which is that Showtime show about a billionaire that has 7 seasons, and I've never met anyone who's actually watched it, but I've seen clips on YouTube Shorts a million times now, and so I'm like, I got to see this for myself. And it is like almost a parody of itself because it like they go in the room where it's like, all right, we're gonna have money making ideas, and the one guy's like, the one guy who's like clearly just supposed to be there to be like the cuck of the room is like, maybe we should buy more Apple, and they're like, you're a pussy, you fucking suck. It's like, what, you guys need to like really work on this. This is all really bad.
Oh yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I bet you did. Bloodborne PC 2025 says, it's spooky season. What's your favorite monster? And are there any fun games featuring said monster? Please do a decision on spooky games sometime. I mean, it's probably like the Castlevania freaking me, but I do like Dracula. I think Dracula is fun. Specifically, that Symphony of the Night design and voice version of Dracula.
Oh,
my
good.
favorite party trick of just doing the entire opening bit with Richter and Dracula from Symphony of the Night.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Also from Castlevania, but Castlevania 64. I've talked about them before. The Frankenstein with chainsaws for hands. That's
right.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Every kid knows it and is afraid of it.
Bob Bisme says, to what extent does the Ubi premium service contribute to low sales numbers for Ubi games like Star Wars Outlaws?
I don't think it's contributing all that much.
No.
I think most average people don't know it exists and don't find enough value in it to keep it all around, like to keep it all the time. So it's like suddenly I have Star Wars Outlaws in my thing. They're not doing that. They're maybe buying it here and there when a game comes out to avoid having to spend the whole thing on it. But no, I don't think it's really affecting this.
I got it for Outlaws, and it was a pain on the ass to get it because I don't know. In where I live, they don't choose. When you go to Ubisoft, you play Plus or whatever the fuck the name is. You go to that thing. It tells you it's not available in your zone. It's like what the hell? And then you had to go to the Xbox app on the computer and get it there through Xbox. Like, oh, this is a whole.
Yeah, it's just not an
auto-renew.
obvious solution for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's weird.
Next one is from Doshin, the Sword of Giant. He says, curious what you think of the Metaphor demo. Where does the Metaphor demo start and end?
I've heard people played it for like 8 or 9 hours. I think it starts at the beginning of the game because your stuff carries over to the final game.
Okay. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
I think that the demo's fantastic.
I mean, have you been playing it as well, Christian, the demo?
Yeah, I've been playing the demo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take your lack of comment as very loud. And yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Do you like the demo, Christian?
I don't know.
Yeah, but you don't like Persona games.
Oh, you don't?
No, he does. I think.
I love Persona games. Stop it. Let's move on.
You don't like... all right. Okay, all right. Geico VP of Marketing says, apparently our so easy at Jeff Grubb will get it approach to commercials has backfired. Mike, please tell Jeff to eat shit. We hope his alliance finished in last place, and 15 minutes could save him 50% on car insurance.
Look,
I guess I kind of just told you those things.
Look, it is... The commercial is the caveman is doing like the guessing game where it's like the lady has a word and she can't, I think it's charades or whatever, not charades, but like she's got to describe it without saying the word, and Geico comes up and she's like, well, I want to pass. He's like, well, we don't pass, and she's like, it's like very easy or whatever she says, and then the time runs out and she shows him it's Geico, and then the guy says, maybe you could have done it, or maybe you could have done it in a British accent, like referring to the gecko, I think. And the caveman's not like mad that Geico has come up anymore. He's just kind of annoyed. And like he used to be like mad because Geico made fun of him that one time. So it's right, but that's like, am I supposed to recognize that it's been so many years and that's why he doesn't care anymore?
Long-term storytelling. Come on.
It's just a little bit weird. That's all.
It's just a little too sophisticated for you.
That's exactly what I was trying to get at. Yes, too sophisticated, like Geico caveman commercial.
Fahogwa God says, quick purchasing advice. Should I buy my dad's hometown in Detroit for $10,000 or the new Madden for $70? Detroit versus everyone. Go Lions. And I'm getting my shit in Poe from Teletubbies. Nothing else.
Now, if you could buy a whole town for $10,000,
is that right? It's like you could buy a town for $10,000.
Now, listen, in some areas of Detroit, that's not unheard of. Listen, if you want to, don't be afraid to go in Detroit for like any sporting events. They've really made it fantastic these days. But there are still like parts where like there's lots of houses for $10,000 for sure that no one buys and things like that. But I don't know. Yeah, buy it. Why not? Go for it.
Come on, Fahogwa Gods. I see you, Josh, and me trying to act like you know me. Edgar Marino says, Trails of Mana and Legend of Mana came to Game Pass. Should I go back to Secret of Mana first? Also, Terry for Street Fighter 6 spacing combos are killing me. Yeah, I said I wanted to play Street Fighter 6 when Terry came out, but it turns out I am still just having a lot of fun with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and want to keep playing that. All the Mana games are kind of separate. You can just play whichever one you want. You can play you can play Trails first if that's what you want to do. It's fine.
Yeah, maybe don't play any of them.
All right. Chuck Towski with the 10th super chat. Thank you, Chuck. Says, I beat Starfield and did New Game Plus, trying to get through the DLC. I feel like Bethesda needs to go hire weirdos and find some personality again. I see that. I've seen some people say, because I guess Bethesda somewhat famously like doesn't really have like a writing team in terms of like people who specialize in writing. I think it's still just like they're developers doing that, which is very much just how it used to always be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can't get away with that anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's not even true. That's just some thing I saw angry people saying online. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't. They clearly need more. They need something more. Is it the writing? I'm sure that would help a little bit, but I think they just need to like get a few more verbs in there that feel good.
Well, it's like they have there's a lot of systems that are like halfway there and they don't really tie into much.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game where every object has like physics to it. And it's kind of like, well, why?
Mm-hmm.
And like the best they have, because it's funny to fill your spaceship up with sandwiches. I'm like, I guess, is that all you got though? Even things like you can build bases. I'm like, well, what can you do with the stuff you get from bases? Oh, you can build more bases. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and it's in the Skyrim game and those games, when you went and got every wheel of cheese from the world, I think the thinking there was there is an economy to this world, and I think there's a finite number of cheeses for the most part. So when you go and do that, putting them all in your house, there's something about that feels like holistic, like you did something to this world. But in Starfield, it is procedurally generated. So when you go to a new like planet, these thousands of planets, it's going to just get filled up with stuff, and it feels like there is no purpose to the placement of the wheel of the space cheese. So taking all of those and putting them in your starship doesn't feel as meaningful. So yeah, there's a disconnect there, I think, that they just need to work on.
Next up is from kevbot.org. Says, Jeff, last year you mentioned Shadows of Doubt being an early access game to check out. Just want to let you know that version 1.0 is out. What a fun and weird game. Lol.
Yes, I intended to check it out, and the week it came out, I think I just got thrown off a little bit. I think some reviews were a little bit lower than I was expecting, so I was like, I'll still want to check this out for myself. But then I think we just got busy. But don't worry, we got Murder Week coming out, and I'll play it then. No, I have no idea when we'll do Murder Week.
Is that really a thing?
Well, we should do. We got Divorce Week coming up, so...
What?
Well, that's been happening apparently. Oh my God, Bailey, with that one, holy shit!
I missed that, but I know she made some good jokes today.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
I will be playing Shadows of Doubt soon here. Looking forward to it.
C-Stick says, I'm moving to Japan to work as an assistant language teacher Sunday, so I'm enjoying the few Colorado nights I still have. What should my last meal be? Thank you for your first super chat, C-Stick.
The thing I miss most actually is that Good Time Burgers place. Really good burgers, really good everything there. And they're a fast food place, but if you want to go someplace fancier, I don't blame you. But I would probably just go to Good Times.
One of my food YouTube videos was about making chili Colorado today. Was that actually a thing you ever had in Colorado?
Well, I mean,
chili Colorado.
Green chili, was on everything.
No, it's not green.
Okay.
It's very red.
Yeah, okay.
Very dark. It's not really tomato. It's like pure chili based, it looked like. But right. Yeah, chili Colorado. I was like, I wonder if Jeff knows about that. And apparently you don't.
I don't. Well, green chili was the thing we put on everything. Like hatched green chili, that sort of thing, yeah.
Willow Davis says, what do you guys want to see in a Zelda theme park? If you watch the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Shanghai Disneyland, it's like this incredible boat-based ride where the boat is kind of like moving all over the place. It's not just like a Pirates of the Caribbean thing. It's like a bit more exhilarating. I want that based on Wind Waker. By the way, Andy Robinson, who I thought was a good friend, really coming out hard against Wind Waker in ways that I just do not approve of. So
what did he say?
There's like some big publication did a list of like best Zelda games. It actually wasn't too bad. Like
I thought it
some things I disagreed with.
Yes.
Yeah, not too bad. But Wind Waker was like pretty high in there, and he's like, and he's like a lot of good games on here, and then Wind Waker or something. I was like, ooh,
wow.
Don't like that. And it's like, of course they come back to the Triforce like hunting thing. And it's like, oh, you have to like go and get these things. And I'm always like, oh, wow, you have to play a game. I'm like, yeah, that's the game. It's like, oh, you have to go to these dungeons. you know. But
Yep.
it's okay if you don't get it, you know.
Exactly. Maybe they
there's
just
actually
don't
not
get
more
it.
Wind Waker for me. Zero sum.
The question is what I want to see in a Zelda theme park.
Yes, kinetic energy.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Thank you.
That's nothing you really want to answer with.
I mean,
I'm going to put you. I'm not going to let you get away with it.
Yeah, listen. I first of all, I wasn't listening to you, so I'm afraid that I'm going to repeat your answer. King of Red Lions, but like one of those love boats that you go around in the water.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to what I said.
Perfect.
Incredible.
Good show.
Yeah, next one is from the Uncharted Wolf. Y'all see Square refuse to let their characters be an Astrobot. Are they stupid? Are they mad that Astro is overshadowing Rebirth for Game of the Year? I don't think they're stupid. I think that there are reasons, and I don't know what they are, why this stuff is sometimes difficult. Like even in Astro's Playroom, like we saw Cloud's Buster Sword, but Cloud wasn't like one of the bots, right?
Yeah.
And there's still weird things like, yeah, Cloud and Sephiroth are in Smash Brothers. For some reason, they only have like 2 songs, and they like can't get the English voice actor. It's just the Japanese one. So they're weird. What button were you trying to push?
The cough button.
Yeah. So either they're being weird, or there's like some kind of complicated thing about those characters. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's as simple as the relationship got too transactional, and every little thing that could be a bargaining chip became a bargaining chip, and so Square Enix couldn't just give them these things. They had to be part of, well, if you're going to pay us more money for this and this and this, we will include that as part of that deal to sweeten the pot. And they got to a point where maybe they stopped like doing those transactions as frequently, and both sides were rethinking it, and then that left these things on the sideline when it came time to actually make the game.
Well, yeah, I do think it was definitely a broader Square Enix, because it's like there aren't any Square Enix characters, right? Like, you don't have 2B, you don't even have like, there's like a lot of PS1 characters from games that mattered on PS1. You don't have like Parasite Eve people, right? Which seems like is definitely a caliber of character that could have been in here, considering what we do see. So there's definitely like Square Enix just didn't want to for whatever reason.
Yep, they want to get paid.
Found that was the Dick Johnson wasn't on the game, and they were like, if he's not there, we're not gonna put our characters there.
That's right.
This is unfair.
Dick Johnson.
Whatever his name is.
Are you talking about the guy from the motorcycle guy?
Yeah, what's his name?
He is in there, remember? That's why he's upset. He is in there.
He is in there? Oh, maybe that's why.
Deacon.
Dick Beacon. Dick Beacon. Dick Beacon. Dick Beacon's motorcycle game.
Deacon St. John.
Thank you.
I'm gonna need to know that when we inevitably do Days Sean, so I'm just up on my Days Gone.
Yep, just keep it right there. Yeah. Deep Beacon's
Christian
pretty
will
good,
start
though.
Piping up pretty early, but like Sean, you don't get to a bit deeper in, and he always comes in with that tone usually.
Right, when we're really lost.
When I envision the comments section, what it could be, I'm just, okay, I need to fix this one quick.
Oh no, they're gonna love Big Dickens.
Let's fucking go.
Hear you, Peekaboo, with their 20th super chat. Thank you so much, Peekaboo. So speaking of Dracula, have you watched HBO True Blood? No.
I thought about it, but I think I watched Carnival was my show at the time, and
Carnival, wasn't that? Oh, that's Carnival. The like weird, like it was like Area 51, that shooter game, but with in a circus.
I was into that too. Sure, yeah.
It's good.
But I think I was pretty mad at HBO for canceling Carnival, so I didn't watch True Blood.
Grug says, can you imagine how checked out of this podcast Jeff will be when the Lions play on Thursday Night Football? Also, Mike hates Lindor chocolates. Yeah, I don't like the weird liquid center of Lindor chocolates. It's gross. I forgot that's what's in them. So when I had that one during the travel log, it was disgusting to me.
Yeah, I guess being surprised by that could throw off anybody, and you don't like that sort of thing, so it's really going to get you.
Are you going to promise to me you're not going to watch a football game?
Well, yeah, because the Thursday night game is on Thanksgiving, and we won't be doing a show that day. Now,
we got if I was that kind of person. What if I was one of those? We got it no matter what.
I would monetize it somehow. And then the problem is the week later they also play on Thursday Night Football. So I will do my best.
Dr. Wright says, Grubb, if you could sing this to Mike in the tune of Hot to Go.
Minotti. Mike Minotti's quite a guy.
Thank you. Very good. And then Magnum Gaming says GTA 6 trailer tomorrow. Is that a thing people are saying might happen tomorrow?
Well, Magnum Gaming is people.
Magnum Gaming saying it, so I don't know. First time hearing about it, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who cares? That would be awesome. If it doesn't happen, well. If it does, cool. I would be excited. I think if that happens and the Switch 2 announcement, paired up with the new Lunchables, obviously, that would be fantastic. That'd be a good Friday.
Really about this Lunchables theory.
I think it's a very funny conspiracy theory, and I'm glad no one else thinks it's funny. That just makes it funnier to me.
All right. That's it for the Super Chats for now, Jeff. Back to you.
Cool. We're going to take another break so we can get set up. When we come back, we're going to do the one game where we're going to get caught up on what happened with our Open Critic guessing game. And we are going to do a fixed list right after this.
Big Dickens. I break.
Jesus Christ. It's a bad podcast.
Yeah, we did it, everybody.
What
Let me get this right here.
Let me get this. There's that.
Fucking go.
Fix
What the fuck
Mikey.
are we doing? Oh, right. We're fixing
The Open Critic.
Let's do the Open Critic first, and then we'll fix the list.
Yeah, well,
Where are you? There you are.
we can make another break after the Open Critic.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You probably have to. We got to set up the next thing.
Everybody
anyway.
loves ads.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay, let's do this.
I watched the first season of True Blood when it was first coming out, and then I stopped, and then now I don't remember anything of the first season of True Blood.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it seemed kind of like
Don't talk to Jeff about True Blood while he's setting stuff up.
Seems like I'm setting it up. It's
I
fine.
apologize.
Seems like a pretty mid show, all things considered.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it's kind of campy these days.
Maybe
You talk to me instead about why don't you like? Do you not like the metaphor demo?
Oh,
So you really-
I checked it out, and it ends when you get your third real person on the party. So
Yes, that's where my demo
like
ended. Yeah.
yes, that's why I didn't.
I like her, by the way. I think she's she's a really cool character. So far, I
a
think
cool
all the
character.
characters have been very good voice acting too. Like I know dub or sub or whatever, but I think the dub is
yeah.
very good.
This means we're good to go.
Also,
There's no such
can I
thing
just
as
say,
bad dubs anymore. Don't let the weebs get to you.
yeah. But by the way, big fan that it's not a silent protagonist. I know it doesn't talk a lot, but just so
Oh my
happy
God.
that there's.
Yes.
God, thank God. Like, look,
Thank
look.
God.
Look at me. There's nothing you can do to make me think that I am this 17-year-old boy. Like, just
Also-
no.
What if the next time they do this, they get rid of like naming your character? Like,
Yeah, it's fine. Who even cares? Yeah, like I'm not gonna name this. Yeah, again, I'm not gonna name this 16-year-old Japanese student Mike Minotti anymore. I'm tired of it.
But
I just don't believe it.
It's
I don't
funny
believe it.
every time.
Oh, I had to see this for like the next 100 hours I'm playing this game. Like,
Also,
no,
I
it's
can't
like-
believe this is the one game where you canonically play as an adult and they don't let you fuck. Like, really?
It's like,
This
now
is
it
the
doesn't
one.
turn them on anymore.
All about the presidency.
When you guys
whatever.
talk about dubs, I was like, what the was True Blood dubbed? I was like very confused for a second.
Yeah.
By the way, I did this a
yeah.
long time ago and said this meant I was ready, and you guys just kept talking.
Sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
see
you're
that.
not
Go
actually
ahead.
zoomed in on the
You know.
frame, so I assumed you were still saying things up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The frame is not going to move. All right,
Yeah,
I will.
just-
I
yeah,
will do that. I
it's
thought it was
locked
going to be
in.
like a PowerPoint presentation.
Nah, you're good. I'm just going to scroll down this
You
list.
did it wrong. God damn it.
He was close.
Not a fan of you guys. Just gonna say it. Don't love you people.
Incredible. What did I do?
All right, there we go. I'm gonna bring us back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a lot of problem with you people, but we could just ignore that for now and instead do a mess of a guest Q4 edition. And I think to do this, I step back and let another host come in.
What do you mean, you people?
You know, milk drinkers.
Oh, Jesus
Ew,
Christ.
I have a problem with them too.
Oh, damn. Maybe I shouldn't do this
Sorry.
segment anymore. Jeez. But yep, it's me. It's Sean. I'm coming in here to present to y'all the Uncharted Wolves game that we do every single quarter, where you guys and the community are guessing open critic reviews score averages.
This reminds me real quick, Sean. Hey,
yes.
The guy that runs fantasycritic.games, make it a quarterly season. It should be one season per quarter, because that would be easier for people to engage with. Okay.
I have something important to say too. It turns out that Chile, Colorado is actually from Mexico, and it's named that because of the color. So it's not from the States. So Jeff wouldn't know about it. Sorry.
Avocados from Mexico. All right, go ahead.
Good Lord. Yes, in case you didn't notice, we are... The name of the game is now a mess of a guess. We didn't really have a name for it.
That's a good name.
No.
So yeah, this is presented, of course, by me from the Uncharted Wolf, and executive produced by Benji Bop, in parentheses here. He made the name, so shouts to Bop for coming up with
Well
this
done.
name for us. It's a good name. I like it. Quick reminder of what's going on here. So last quarter, the guys were given 8 different games coming out in the 3-month period. They needed to guess the open critic score, the open critic average that would land at of all the review scores aggregated on that site. Whoever gets closest to the final score gets 1 point. If you predict it exactly right, you got 2 points. And if you didn't think a game would come out by the end of the third quarter, you could say will not release. You'll get double the points on that. So, recap of the score so far. Q1, Mike won, and Q2, Mike also won. Q1, Lewis AG and Fishlow won in the community, and Jamie H won in Q2.
You gotta win this quarter to be alive still,
Nah,
Jeff.
it was just preseason.
That's right. Preseason. Anyways, into the actual results. Game number 1 was Black Myth Wukong. Mike picked first. You guys alternated, of course. Mike went with 82, and Jeff went with 83. It came in just slightly under 81. So Mike, just barely closer, gets the point there.
Fucking cheater.
We're so good at this.
We are at the point where a lot of people in the community are playing, so I will refer audio listeners to the video version if you want to see your name if I don't call out the names on any of these particular games. Game number 2 was Concord. Jeff said 75. I don't know what 75 question mark. Mike said 70. Came in a lot lower than that at 64.
God, I remember this, and you're like, man, that was a good call.
So Mikey gets the point on that one. In the community, shouts to Zubmer and Jackie G, who both got right with 64.
Feel good. Feel good, coach.
Villain Mac did say Concord would not release, and so Wolf is saying you're technically right and wrong, so you get half a point for that one.
Congratulations.
What if when a game is unreleased?
I think it's a full point, frankly, but that's me. I'm not the judge.
Half a point's funnier.
Yeah.
Half a point's funnier.
All right. Game number 3 was World of Warcraft, The War Within. Mike went with the 86. Jeff took the under at 85. And it did come in at 84. So Jeff gets the point on that.
So close.
The critics were wrong. Critics were wrong on this one. That point should be mine, but whatever.
For what's worth, 96% of critics do recommend it. Yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes sort of thing going on there. Game number 4 was Visions of Mana.
That's not a real game.
Miles is crying somewhere right now, Jeff. Jeff said 81. Mike took the under with 80. And came in at 77.
Ooh.
Yes, Mike was under you and got the point on that one.
Under is a very good thing to have.
Game number 5 was Star Wars Outlaws. Mike went first. He picked an 83. Jeff, you guys love Price is Right each other. Jeff went with 82 and came in at 76. So Jeff gets the point on that one.
Yeah,
this one definitely came in. I didn't think there would be too much of a world where it would be below 80, but we got there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still in that good, not great range. So,
that's right.
It could have been worse, I suppose. In the community, shouts to Monogrim for getting exactly right with the 76.
Nice.
Game number 6 was Astrobot.
That's right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Jeff picked 89.
I was not a true believer.
Mike went with 91. You should have been a true believer. It landed at 95.
Eat shit.
Yep.
Eat shit. Just like the Geico people told me. I'm going to tell you to eat shit.
I'm curious because I'm wondering where this lands in top rated games of all time. Like how high that is. Is that like top 20 or something like that
It's
with
gotta
95?
be- You'd think it'd be
Like-
top. It might be top 20. 95 is pretty good. When you
It
get
is
to
the number one rated
96, you're
game
like,
of this year for sure.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, maybe 95 is more common than I think it is because it gets like exponential after that point. So maybe it's like top 50 or something, but that's still very,
curious.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Ryan and Enemy Mouse both got exactly right with 95. Shouts to
Hey,
them.
good job.
Game number 7,
my God, really?
Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Mike picked 81, Jeff picked 80, and it came in at 81. So
Heretic.
Mike gets to the double points there. Nicely done, Mike.
Oh, baby.
I feel
look
like I
at
remember
that.
this one too being like 81 and being like mad at you because I'm like, that's such a good score for this game. So I guess I'll go the under.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah. Sick Jake, Empanada Eater, and Bar Speckle all got exactly right with an 81 as well. And then game number 8, this should be the last one. Jeff picked 86. Mike picked 85. Blood of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom came in at an 86. So, Jeff, you got this one exactly correct. Got 2 points on that one. And Monogram, Bop, and Empanada Eater all also got exactly right with 86, which means that Mike
Hey.
Minotti wins 6-4 in this
Take
quarter.
Hey, okay, you almost got back up there. I'll tell you what, I do feel like we're pretty good at this.
Yeah,
Not
I
too
mean,
often we were far off.
all the answers are like right there, like very close. It's and it does matter if you can kind of get that under on some of those, unless you get it exactly right. In which case, the both times that like where like the under didn't work, I think it was because the person who chose first got it exactly right. So it's like, man, yep, cool, good
I
game.
know, like, mathematically, there's more opportunity for the under to be good, but it is interesting how often it is the under rather than the over. That makes it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just like it's so easy to be optimistic and then
Yeah.
completely beef Astrobot, I guess. But whatever.
Suppose so.
Yep, that's my
All
fault
right,
on
well-
Astrobot. I should have been. That's the reason I lost.
I'm now going to take just a second to scroll through the community results there so people can see where they landed. There's so many people competing now that we couldn't include everybody. So Wolf says here, if you participated but didn't see your name, then unfortunately you didn't get 8 points. Thanks for playing. And shout outs to Villain Mac. That half point on Concord caused him to win this quarter. So
that's the difference.
that's the difference. That's the Concord difference, baby.
Incredible. Congrats, Villain Mac.
Alrighty. So quarter 4, we're gonna wrap up the year here. Same rules as before, but now you'll be predicting the open critic for 15 games. We got the full slate this time. 15
Wow.
games in quarter
Jeez.
4.
All right.
A lot of points. Maybe you can catch up, Jeff. I don't know how he's scoring all this.
It is by quarter, but also obviously I'm just playing for honorary points
Respect?
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
You are playing. You are playing.
You don't want to be completely embarrassed. You don't want to be victim of the first ever best of the
Sweep.
guests sweep.
right, exactly.
That's right.
Yes, so we'll try to avoid that.
Deadline, as always, for community guesses is when the first game gets reviews. Mike's victory in the previous quarter will let him go first. Snake picking from there. And you cannot say the same score, Jeff. You keep saying you can, but that's not a rule in this game. That's
Is
Bob's
that
game.
That's the Bob's game. Okay, fair enough.
Yes. I read that verbatim, so yell at Wolf. Don't yell at me. New rule being introduced here at the very end of the year. The Jeff Grubb research clause.
Ooh,
Each player is allowed to research one game during the quarterly prediction.
I like this. That's fun.
You must announce that you will be researching your game before you give your prediction score for said game. No researching after you have already picked a score. Players are not allowed to know the remaining games in each quarterly prediction so that they cannot plan when to use the research. Players are allowed to research the same game
All right.
or different games. So I would like to point out that when this all started, we just gave you guys a list of our game and you didn't pay attention and you were wondering why you didn't have this information. We're like, you did have the information.
Right.
So then we moved it to, well, when you're ready, ask us for the games. That way you'll be ready for them.
And then we
You
didn't
never
do that.
asked for the games.
Right.
I never wanted to research. I'm like going off of gut and killing it. That's all I need.
So this is where we are now. So on the fly, you'll be able to basically Google one game
I like
that you
it.
can call out when you want to. Anyways, start off with game number 1. Mikey going first here. Please tell me what you think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will get.
Yeah, there's a big
How about
appetite.
Latin America?
Yeah, there's a big appetite for this because so many people miss that more arena fighter style of these games. It's going to have that huge roster. I don't think it's going to do anything crazy. So I think it's still like low 80s, but maybe not the lowest of 80s. So like part of me wants to say like an 83, but it could be lower. I think I feel better with an. I'm going to preemptively pick the lower if I would have said an 83 and say an 82.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is high 70s, so I'm happy to pick 81 and take that under again.
You might be right.
Okay, I think Mike might have this one. People are hype over this one.
Yeah, I don't know if that hype is actually going to translate into reviewers, but we'll see.
Yeah, but you have no taste. So game number 2 is Metaphor Refantasio. Jeff, you get to go first on this one.
Yeah, okay. Persona games do well, and this is fantasy Persona. People like fantasy. It's tough because Christian doesn't like the demo, so that's gonna make it difficult. I'm gonna go with a 92.
Okay. Still
Literally
Persona score right there. So.
Literally wanted to say 92.
Because I think it's the right score for this one. Yep.
Man, I thought that you were gonna like not remember that Persona games review well or something and say 80s. Shit.
I like Persona. I remember Persona 5 Royal did very well, but I know
because that was getting 10 out of 10s. Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah,
very good.
Probably like 95 itself or something.
God, I'm gonna say a 93.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Optimistic Mikey. All right. I like it. Game number 3, Super Mario Party Jamboree.
I think people are gonna like this one. It is also the third one of the Switch generation, so there's gonna be a little bit of we're kind of tired of this, even though it might be like one of the best ones of these we had in a while. I think some people are going to appreciate the new features, but it's not going to move people a whole lot, like that 20-person mode and that weird thing where you're fighting against Bowser. Gosh, I definitely want to go. I would just say an 80. I'm going to say 80 on the dot.
Okay.
That's a good score for that. 80 is like the right one because it could very easily be high 70s. It could be the one that like gets up into the low 80s. I don't know if any of the Super Mario parties have been low 80s recently or ever. I think it's such a bad idea to go the over here. But it might be the one that does it. Yeah, okay. I think I'll probably regret this, but I'm gonna go over. I'll go 81.
All righty. Game number 4, Dan Reichert's Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I'm so pissed he sniped this off of me in Fantasy Critic.
A toughie.
Yeah, it's a tough one. These things can be anywhere from. Well, I mean, obviously, a catastrophe could happen, and it could be in the 60s, but I don't think that's not on the table here. So it could be anywhere from 75 to like 85. So because of that,
the reception of the betas.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't have to help him.
I think I'm gonna go.
How about you too?
I'm gonna go with like 82.
Okay.
I think this is one people are going to be ready to like. I'm going to say 84.
Okay. I will say I liked but didn't love the beta, so I'm really curious how other people feel about this. I think it's going to really
split. The beta.
I think it's going to depend on the campaign, really.
Yeah.
I fucking love that beta. It felt so good.
Game number 5, Sonic Shadow Generations, and the Sonic fan gets to pick first on this one.
Interesting. Sonic Generations, the original, reviewed pretty well. I think some of that stuff is maybe not going to age incredibly great, but also the remastering work is going to be nice. I think that the Shadow campaign is actually going to be surprisingly well received, and it is pretty beefy. So it's still Sonic, though. We know how reviewers feel about Sonic, so it could very easily be high 70s. I'll be a bit of an optimistic Sonic guy, though. I'll say it's like part of me almost wants to compare this to like Epic Mickey, which I thought was a very good remaster, but it's like score is still a 77, which again, it's not bad, but it's like maybe the limit of these things. But there's so much new content here that I think it's going to do better than Epic Mickey rebrushed. So I will say 81.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the high 70s for this one as well. But you said 81. I think I'll go to a 79.
Okay.
All right, little gap
that's
there.
fair.
Game number 6, Life is Strange Double Exposure.
Jeff Grubb research clause.
This one too.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what these games review these
So,
days.
what are the rules about what I need to announce as part of my research? Do I have to say like what I discovered?
You're just claiming this one. You're just making clear that this is the one you're doing your research for before you
Okay.
pick a score. Yeah.
There was.
Be reasonable here. We don't have all day.
Yeah, no, I'm right. So I'm just gonna
basically just look up the previous scores for other.
I'm looking up
series.
the one for True Colors. That's what I'm doing. Right
Let
now.
us know what you see.
I have to say a score, so I can't like throw you off the trail here, Mike. Yeah.
You don't have to give me your research, but you got to pick a score.
I do have to pick a score, and I think this is the same developer as that one. So I will go with an 80.
Alrighty, Mikey.
It's like I'm sure the people who like these games are ones reviewing it. I feel like maybe it's just me. To me, it seems like there's been a lot of these. There's got to be some diminishing returns, or I don't know. Maybe every time people's like, "Hey, yay, a new one of these," and yet like 79 seems weird to me. Like I don't know why I have a hard time seeing Life is Strange in the 70s, although maybe it's been there before already. I'll be I've been too optimistic before. I'll be pessimistic and say 79.
It got an 81 on Open Critics, so I'm like I kind of did a little bit of an under, but I think I would if I was in your situation, I probably would have gone to 79 too.
Okay.
Game number 7, Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
This one is difficult. It's been so long. There are so many kind of hopes and dreams tied to this one. So many things that people specifically want about Dragon Age and from different games. I think it looks very good. And that preview event was glowing. It's glowing so much that some people assumed it was a conspiracy theory, which was insane. Yeah, I think this is going to do pretty well. I don't know if it's going to be astronomical. I definitely think high 80s at least, though. Maybe not the highest of 80s, because I think there's going to be some people who are going to bristle at its kind of more linear nature, and it's kind of like after getting like the super fantasy RPG like D20s and all that with Baldur's Gate 3, and this one's going to be like the summer blockbuster version of that. Some people might bristle against that a little bit, so I'll say 87.
All right.
Yeah, this is an easy over for me because I think it's going to be in the 90s, but I'll just say 88.
Okay.
Howard.
Game number 8, Batman: Arkham Shadow. Jeff.
Oh man. Okay. This is from actually Rocksteady.
This is a VR game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it from Rocksteady? I didn't even know that.
I'm going to say it will get I think it's going to be a good VR game, which puts it at a 76.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I just think people's appetites for this kind of thing are so toasted. Although, if you're reviewing VR games, maybe
is it not from Rocksteady? Okay, never mind.
I thought it was from Rocksteady.
Yeah. Oh, it's from Camouflage. That's right.
So that's why it's going to actually be more like, what'd you say, 76?
Yeah.
That's why it's actually going to be a 74. I'm not doing this only one under cowardly bullshit anymore.
I think
except for maybe the next
2
game.
under. You're
the brave
I'm a big
real
boy.
manly. Yeah.
The Brave and the Bold. That's a Batman reference, see?
Not bad. Game number 9, Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Okay, that's interesting, because, like, what the hell do we go on here? It's been so long since an actual one of these, generally well-liked. Like, there's a world where this gets reviewed very, very well. The Thousand Year Door remake did very well in reviews. That's a game we already knew was very good. It's like a different developer now, of course, although a lot of original people, the game looks pretty, these things can kind of, they can be misguided sometimes. We've had Mario and Luigi games that are a bit bloated and talky and don't really be they're not as good as you want them to be. I am hopeful for this one, but maybe still a bit reserved. I'm going to say an 84.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good, that's probably the right place to put your mind for this game. I have this in my fantasy critic, so I'm going to build in some of that optimism here. There's a chance this game is super good and gets an 88, but I will go with, because I think about, again, if I was in your situation, I probably would have said 84 as well. So I'm going to go with 85 and hope for the best.
Alrighty. Next game, Jeff Grubb's title of the year, Slitterhead.
Yeah, there it is. Man, I this is one that I have only ever really thought about how funny it is to say the name, and I can't remember anything else about it. I mean, I know it's supposed to be kind of like Silent Hill inspired, I think. I think like a safe number for this one is like 78.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to research here if I could. I'm like, I don't know why it's like I'm like I should think about Callisto Protocol. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 75. Give it a 75. Okay. Predict a 75.
Wow.
Wow, he's gonna review this.
Yeah, hasn't even played it. What a games journalist.
Yeah.
You caught me. I do it all the time.
Speaking of Mikey skewing things, Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, Mike.
Man, this is one that does depend who's going to review it, because I think there are just going to be some people like, well, the game's kind of old. Even though I think, I think it's such a good looking remake. I got to play this. I am as high on this as can be. And yeah, it's like, I got to remember, like, again, I said 1,000 Year Door did really well in reviews, but it's still like an 89, even though I think it was like a very well done, essentially remake of one of the best RPGs ever. There's more work going on here. And this is an even more beloved game than 1,000 Years Door, though maybe not quite as much in the West. I like kind of want to go a little nuts here, and I'm trying to talk myself out of it, and yet I don't know if I should. I'm gonna say a 90.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping you would go like 87, so I could have all of that real estate above there, because I think 90 is a good score. That kind of stinks. I don't want to go lower here, but I think I have to. Just because, yeah, I think you're right that there will maybe be a handful of people who are going to feel the age more than others, and maybe draw it down to like an 88. So I'll go with an 88. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's very much a world where it gets an 88, which is also still a great
what if
score.
it got like a 94, you know?
Listen, I think there's a world where it gets a 94 too, yeah.
Yeah, go. I need them. Lego Horizon Adventures. I am disappointed in Wolf for not putting the leaf blower gif here. I'm sure he'll get it next time.
Yeah, next time. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I played this. I enjoyed it. What does that mean? I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Grubb was very confused. He's like, Horizon?
Yeah.
Good. No.
It's
Horizon bad.
It's cute. It's funny. It looks good. It plays fine, pretty good. I guess a lot of it depends on like how robust is the content, and I have no idea what to guess there, but I think they probably wouldn't skimp on it. So I feel like this one's going to be like a one that wins a lot of people over and does like a good solid 82.
I think people are going to like it, but I do think a little bit of that Horizon fatigue, especially among people who review video games. And it is going to be a game ultimately kind of for kids, so all the adults playing it might drag it down a little bit for them. They're going to like it. They're going to like a 78 like it.
78?
Yeah, 78.
Okay, got it. Game number 13, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Oh, this isn't fair. They juiced Jeff up. They let him fly an airplane.
It's your pick, Mike. Yeah.
I was just going to let him figure it out.
Yeah.
I just associate this one so much with Jeff.
I'm just letting him simmer in that
Yeah,
one,
exactly. Let him think.
Gosh, the last one reviewed very well, but it was also a very long time since that came out. But boy, the sickos who like these games, they like these games. And they're gamifying it more, which I think is really smart. I think people are going to be on board with that. Might be some people who maybe are like, I don't know if they really needed to make a new one of these. I don't think so. I think it's going to review pretty well. Maybe not quite as well as the last one, because again, there was such a gap there. Maybe 89 this time.
All right.
Yeah, I think that forces me to have to go the over. I'll go with 90, and I think it probably will end up right around 90, 91. Would love for it to be a 91. Get me those bonus points in Fantasy Critic.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's probably going to be a 90.
Okay. Game 14, Stalker 2.
This is a tough one. I really don't. I guess I could have tried to play at Summer Game Fest. I didn't. I think that there's a lot of high expectations because there's a lot of people who really like Stalker. They've delayed it a bunch of times. I'm like afraid to be too pessimistic here, although I think that's probably the safe move. I'll go with 79.
Okay. Mikey.
Really? No, I think it's going to be better than that. I think it's going to be like an 83.
Locking in 83?
Locking in 83.
Okay. Game number 15, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, Mike, this is the last game. Would you like to use your research?
Yeah, I was going to say research. All right, let's see. What was the Rotten Tomatoes for the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny? Let's see here. 70%, which is apparently an 88% popcorn meter. Pretty good. 88% popcorn meter, huh? I think I'm going to go with that. I think that's the people's vote there, and me, I'm all about the people, but maybe not quite as high as that, but still pretty high. I think maybe like an 87 is going to be a better bet here for old Indy.
Okay.
You said 87?
87, sir.
That's really good. I think that's probably where this ends up. I think it's like 86 to 88. If it's like if it's really good, I think it gets up to like 88. That's like tough, and I think that like Machine Games does such good storytelling, such great characters, and sometimes their games are also very fun to play, and sometimes it's a little bit of a slog. I think that with this one, as much time as they've taken, they probably will dial in on sorry for the
Dial in Destiny,
Dial of Destiny in to the best version that this game can be. And I think that's a fucking 87. So fuck you. God, I guess
you can go for the full popcorn meter.
I'll go 88.
Score of 88.
I'll go 88.
You can be more of a man of the people than I am.
I'll go 88. I think I have to have faith that this game's going to be really good. Yeah.
Faith in the popcorn meter.
Faith in the popcorn meter. I'll go with 88.
Righty. Well, let me slide your predictions into view over here and summarize them for the audio listeners. That means that Dragon Ball Sparking 0, Jeff is guessing 81, Mike 82, Metaphor Refantasio, Jeff going 92, Mike 93, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Jeff 81, Mike 80, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Jeff 82, Mike 84, Sonic Shadow Generations, Jeff 79, Mike 81, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Jeff 80, Mike 79, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Jeff 88, Mike 87, Batman Arkham Shadow, Jeff with 76, Mike with 74, Mario and Luigi Brothership, Jeff guessing 85, Mike 84, Slitterhead, Jeff was 78, Mike was 75, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, Jeff says 88, Mike says 90, Lego Horizon Adventures, Jeff with 82, Mike was 78, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, Jeff 90, Mike 89, Stalker 2, Jeff 79, Mike 83, and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Jeff with 88, Mike with 87. Wolf, hopes you all have fun.
Now,
and for the love of God, Jeff, win at least one quarter so Mike's ego doesn't grow.
I think it's a good point. Like, what is the point of doing it by quarters? Now, I know we finish this year. We do it by quarters. I agree. That's fine.
Yes.
That's how we started the year. But next year, why wouldn't we just do it by aggregate score the way every sport is played?
Because when we do it quarterly, it gives us content.
Well, no, we still do it like, yes, there's a quarters in football, but only the score at the end matters.
The scoring.
Yes. Yeah. That because
I
then
don't recall you having a problem with this when you were
weird that he went
competing.
Well, it didn't occur to me until now. I don't know why.
They appeal to the commissioner.
That you have a problem with it.
Listen, I do have a problem because I'm losing. Obviously. Like, I'm not going to pretend that's not it. But also, it would make it better because the next quarter wouldn't be pointless.
Just think of it as a per quarter game, Jeff, now. That's all you're fighting for, you loser.
Yeah, well, I have to look at it that way, clearly. But what if it was that way?
I'll let Wolf say anything if he wants to. I know he's in chat right now, but I would assume it's because we don't get enough firm, solid release dates a year in advance when, we had to plan this all out.
No. Yeah, but we still do it the exact same way, except the scoring is just done where it's aggregate, where it's like, okay, so now...
Oh, you just want the scoring specifically to be whoever got the most over the course of the year?
Yes. Exactly, and you could still like, okay, hey, that you won that quarter, like just like anyone like commenting on a football game would be like, all right, that team won that quarter, but there's still a lot of football left to play. I think it makes it a better game, and also I wouldn't be in this situation again next year, which who knows?
Why don't you whine to the commissioner on your own time? I
don't know if it's whining as much as just make it a very compelling and interesting point.
Another point is it will make Mike really angry, and that's just funny.
All right, that's compelling. I'm turning around this one.
I also like this is a good point, Nick TG in chat. Right now it feels like we're in the electoral college, where it should be like, let's say I win every single one of these games in the next quarter. Wouldn't it suck to be like, oh, Jeff dominated and Mike still won the year because we were playing for no reason?
We want direct democracy, goddammit.
I just think that every vote should matter.
Yeah, a lot of bad teams play good baseball in September, Jeff. It doesn't get them to the World Series.
Yeah, but then you can go play the playoffs by yourself.
Okay. Anyways, I would like to remind everyone, we heard about the community making their predictions for each quarter right here in the game. Just a friendly reminder, if you want to do that, that is available to supporters. So everything that Jeff mentioned at the top of the show, if you're a Patreon supporter, if you're a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, any of those things get you into the Discord where we do all these prediction games.
Also, I guarantee I get every single one on the next one. Every single, okay, all 15 games.
You get every single one on the next one. You can change the rule.
Okay, that's cool. Awesome. Yeah,
he's going to get all 15.
I'm going to get all 15 right. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Okay, great.
You can just say anything.
It turns out there's no
good at podcasting.
Huh? I mean, people will take this clip and they'll play it back, and that'll be very funny when I don't. Hey. But you can just say anything. It rules.
Hey, we got a whole other game to play.
All right, we're going to get that set up right after this. I'm going to complain on that one,
Democracy. All right, this is
going to complain on that one, too, he says. I'll be right back. I got to take the dog.
Yep, no problem. All right, let's
see. The fucking dog out.
You sent that over here. I can find that there.
I'm going to kill this right away, so that way I don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
Close stream. There you go. What are we doing now? I think we have too much.
The list fix.
Oh, we need to fix the list.
We need to fix the list.
I always forget that we also picked the next one, the next quarter.
Okay, there's that. Where's the list?
Where's the list?
Where's the list? Okay, I found it.
Also, I would like to point out that Wolf's response is basically, I've thought about it. There's not really a reason, but...
Well, fantastic. Wonderful. Think about it more. All right, there's that. I guess I can bring that to here.
Everybody watching anything spooky?
I am going to watch The Shining. I've still never seen it, so I've decided I should.
You've never seen The Shining?
Yes, so I've decided I should fix that immediately. That's the next one.
That's pretty
good.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah.
I'm not big into actual horror by like campy, spooky stuff. So
I
watch watch anything from like the Peanuts special to like Nightmare Before Christmas to like Beetlejuice.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't watched anything horror related yet. Well, I watch Dan the Dan, which is kind of horror adjacent, spooky kind of. It has aliens and ghosts and that kind of stuff. So I watched that. It's pretty good.
No, that's not right.
No, well, if there's one precedent I've set for people who make games around here is that we don't give in to the whiners. Mike whines every Jeopardy game. I won't give in to him. Put your foot down.
On the contrary, you had to like make them whine even more.
I want to make it clear. I truly believe that it's whining. Like I'll be 100% I'm whining, but also I think I only whine when I truly like believe what I'm saying will make things better. Like I could be whining so much more, you guys. You have no idea. I want to whine all the time. But I think this would actually make it more dramatic. I do think that's true.
Oh no, to be clear, I think you're right. I just find it funny that this came up because you're salty.
Oh no, without a doubt, yes.
Okay.
I almost have respect for you. That was
Almost.
Oh yeah,
so
no.
close.
Listen, that's about as best I can hope for. Okay.
Maybe we try that for next year or something. You know?
Yep, that works.
Wasn't there a year where I was losing by a lot and like would have done better if it was an aggregate score and I complained about it and was shut down?
Probably.
No one can remember.
Nah, who could say? We don't record these things.
I mean,
it's lost to time.
The reality is, Mike, when that was happening, you want to know what I was really thinking. It's like,
No, I
it would make it a lot more sense if we did it that way, but I just won, so I'm going to be quiet. But at the time, I thought the same thing.
I would have to remember the history on this one. I think it's because we didn't know if it would stick around, and it
for
was
sure.
just a quarterly thing, and that became a yearly thing.
Right, that's how these things work, right? We just kind of piecemeal them together.
I think we
Well,
grew
who
into
knows?
it being a yearly competition.
Well, if who won? Yeah, we could also just not consider it a yearly competition.
It could
Just
just be a quarterly competition.
worry about it quarter by quarter.
Yeah,
That's true too.
yeah. Which is probably what you end up doing. And then at the end of the year,
really
you can add
rock.
up everything together and be like, well, and here's what happened for the whole year.
Huh,
But
Terry-
whatever. It's Wolf's game. We'll play it. Whatever.
Yeah, Terry Francona comes out of retirement to manage the Reds. Well,
Oh,
he does
really?
well. I loved Terry.
Yeah, Terry
Miss
Francona is awesome. God, that's when I love.
I wish we
baseball
really.
most.
God, I wish we won with him.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wish we won with Jim Leland. God, that was awesome when he was there.
Just like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay.
Tied with quarters. I see, Wolf. I see. So we used the aggregate last time because we tied with quarters. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. That's
then-
why aggregate came into play.
And you won last year, right?
No, you won
Okay, I don't remember.
because of the aggregate.
Oh, okay. All right. I
Time to
am
get-
mostly
time
set
to
up.
manufacture some beef.
Okay, let's see.
Manufactured beef.
Mm,
Here's one row.
quartz. Just be quiet for a while.
All right, there's that.
What if we made a podcast where we are quiet all the time?
Yeah, we could do that.
I go over really well.
It's like a podcast like that weird sleep album
Quiet
that Jeffrey
Tua.
Bridges did.
We could call it the Quiet Tua.
Isn't there? Didn't someone do that podcast where they just uploaded blank MP3s and it just did really well because people
Probably.
they just want something to play while using their ANC headphones
like
or
that.
something. It sounded weird.
that.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like that egg post on Instagram that got all the likes.
We are good.
Okay.
All right,
Excited.
bring it back.
And we're back, and it's time to fix a list. The fix list. What is the name of this exactly? What did we officially call it? The list fixers?
Fix a list.
Fix a list? Okay. It's time
Fix a
to fix a list. We have a list here from Mr. Zachary Wiggs at The Gamer. These are the...
Did you write for the gamer?
Oh, yes. Didn't I review the medium for The Gamer? Yeah.
I gave it a perfect score.
Gave it a perfect score, the game I haven't played, or for the site
That's
I
an
wrote
old
for.
Game S lore for you to look up.
The 10 best PS2 games of all time. So even if another PS2 game releases, no, these are the 10 best. That's how it works. Okay. He goes on here. He's got an intro. I can hop into it. We can just run it down, and then we can fix this list. Does that sound right, Mike?
Yes, and this one is numbered unlike our last one. And I'm going to warn you right now. Look, these things are very personal. There's no such thing as a bad list. I like this list less than the NES one we did before. I think there's more fixing to do here.
Okay, sounds good. And there are bad lists. That's why we're fixing them. Get on the fucking game. Come on, Mike. You don't blow
I
it.
mean, this person should feel
Protect the
bad.
business. All right.
Look, I'm gonna dig into the list very soon here. Don't worry.
Yeah, no hard feelings, Zachary Wiggs. Number 10, Okami.
Your favorite game.
I mean, I know people like it. I think this is mostly a me problem, but I'm not going to put it on my top 10 list.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Number 9, Killzone.
Well,
1.
that's the first wild one. It's Killzone 1.
Killzone 1.
Killzone 1. Killzone. Yeah, that's the only one that was on PS2.
Yeah, I know,
Killzone
but just
1.
like Killzone 1 is on this
Yeah,
list.
I don't even really remember anyone talking that much about Killzone 1 until
For the PS2.
for the PS2. It wasn't until Killzone 2 came out. It wasn't until that trailer for Killzone 2 came out that I ever heard of that franchise.
I mean, I remember-
There's a lot of PS2 games.
I remember Killzone was supposed to be the Halo killer, and then it came out and no one cared. Okay, all right.
So, yeah, I mean, I remember that. I barely remember it even happening with the first Killzone, but there it is.
Number 8, Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, that's fine. That's obviously a very, very popular one.
Number 7, Sly Cooper.
Sure. The Thievius Raccoonus.
Number 6, Resident Evil 4.
I have a problem with this because that's just a worse port of the GameCube game.
Version?
It is the first one I think that had separate ways. So that's something. But the game looked worse. The pre-rendered cutscenes I think looked awful on it.
They looked bad. Yeah, that's right.
It's still Resident Evil 4. It's just like there's compromises here, and I don't really. You asked me to start talking about Resident Evil. Let me try again. You asked me to start talking about PS2 games. It's going to take a while before I get to Resident Evil 4. I just don't associate it with that.
What you originally accidentally said, if I asked you to start talking about Resident Evil 4, the PS2 version probably never comes up.
Yeah, I'll talk about GameCube as original. Talk about Wii, even like some of the modern versions.
The VR version, yeah,
the remake, but not the PS2. I don't know.
Number 5, Shadow of the Colossus.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so. Number 4, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah, makes sense.
Hard to argue with. Number 3, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
Probably one of my favorites. Absolutely.
Number 2, Half-Life for PlayStation 2.
I did like this. Yeah, that's a look.
What?
Half-Life on PS2 is a port that I think it had that co-op campaign added to it. That's wild at number 2.
Number 2, though.
Half-Life is a great game. It's just, the PC game Half-Life. And there are so many PS2 games, Jeff. There are so many PS2 games. So, yeah, seeing the PS2 port of Half-Life at number 2. What does he say about it?
Everyone may be waiting on the next installment of the series, but at least we all have fond memories of the original Half-Life from the PS2 era.
I would never ever describe Half-Life as a game from the PS2 era.
Well, because it's not, right?
It came out in 98.
It's
You're
just
right.
fucking not. Yeah.
It's just not.
Gordon Freeman may be a silent protagonist, but maybe the shock of an invasion of Earth beginning at his research facility has scared him quiet. It's such a fun look into science fiction and early first-person shooter gameplay.
Yes.
While we are all still curious about where the story will end, it is still fun to go and look at where it all began, so just keep an eye out for the G-Man, as trouble always seems to follow him.
Yeah, like, Half-Life's a good game, but, like, why the PS2 version of Half-Life, which was an old game already, it's like, I think it's supposed to be, like, a decent port, but, you're playing it on a PS2. That's a weird choice.
It's a worse example of what we were talking about with Resident Evil 4, where it's like, just because it's not the version of that game, and there's so many PS2 games, it feels like you are doing a disservice to something that you've omitted to include this. And at number 2, number 1, God of War.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
sure.
Look, after being shocked.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Half-Life. I'm like, okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah,
that's reasonable. I don't think I'd do it at number 1.
Yeah, I mean, probably me neither. For PS2 games, I like God of War a whole bunch, but probably not number 1. But listen, I think about half this list is games that like, oh yeah, and the other half's got a lot of head scratchers in there. I'm going to go ahead. Let me actually add these in here. Mike, do you have like the actual list in front of you that you could just read to me?
Yeah, sure. You want me to start from 10?
Yeah, start from 10.
Yeah, so at number 10 is Okami. Number 9 is Killzone.
Killzone.
8 is Silent Hill 2. 7 is Sly Cooper. 6 is Resident Evil 4. 5 is Shadow of the Colossus. 4 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. 3 is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. 2 is Half-Life. And 1 is God of War. I think the first thing we do to fix this list is just get rid of some of these immediately.
Yes, definitely. Let me get this numbering in here so it's
like,
easy for
I think we could just
to follow.
I think we could just kind of immediately get rid of Killzone, Resident Evil 4, and Half-Life.
Right. Okay. So goodbye Half-Life. Well, I mean that's the list. So we'll do this. We'll copy it over here and copy.
I believe in you.
There we go. Wait, fuck, Jesus. There we go. All right. So getting rid of Half-Life. Yep, doing great. Excel is my passion. We're getting rid of Resident Evil 4, right? We're getting rid of Killzone, and what was the other one?
I think that's it. In terms of ones that obviously have to be taken away.
Right.
I think that's fine.
Okay. And then, so that leaves us with, right, for now, there's no guarantee any of these make it. Some of them almost certainly will. But nothing is guaranteed to stay until we actually solidify it in our fix. But that leaves us with Okami, Silent Hill 2, Sly Cooper, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and God of War.
Well, maybe we should both say what we think what appears to us to be the most glaring omission.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and start, because I'm trying to pick my one.
Gosh, even I'm looking at even Games Radar's list, which is not as wacky, but even there, Resident Evil 4 at 4, I'm like, really, you guys?
I mean, listen, Resident Evil 4, if you all things being equal, Resident Evil 4 is better than most games on PS2. I get that, but it's just when I'm putting together the list of best PS2 games, it doesn't occur to me until I get through several others first. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Look, I'll say Kingdom Hearts 2.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Listen, I've not played Kingdom Hearts 2. I have nothing against Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay, good.
Let's see. All right. Let me see here. Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay.
Should be considered.
Yes, I think, and the PS2 version would be the one that would matter. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is probably...
Yeah, that was maybe the one I was going to say more, but it's Jeff will just say that one.
Yes.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 should definitely be on here. I know there's a lot of good PS2 era Tony Hawk games, but this is definitely my favorite one, more so than the Thugs, more so than 4. Absolutely needs to have it.
Yep. Okay, what else you got?
Yeah, it looks to me like maybe Zachary here isn't much of a JRPG fan. And I think there are 2 very good Final Fantasies on here. I will say Final Fantasy 12 got better with its remaster, and 10 maybe actually got worse. So I think I'll actually say Final Fantasy 10. That was such a big game, big important game for the system. I think Final Fantasy 10 should really be on here, definitely be heavily considered.
Okay, Final Fantasy 10. Let me increase that font size. 17,
yeah, God, even that before I liked Final Fantasy, I remember watching my brother just play a lot of it, and it was just so shocking how from the future that game seemed. Even the fact that the game had voice acting was whoa,
Yes, totally. Okay, I'm trying not to go immediately to third-party games or non-exclusives, but I mean, there's I like God of War 1, but I think I like God of War 3 was PS2 as well, right?
Nope, that was 3. Was PS3.
So okay. Oh, that was PS
1 and 2.
PS3 1 and 2. Okay. Then maybe it is 2 I'm thinking of, but I don't know. That's not one. You know what? I'm gonna go with what I was originally thinking. Burnout 3 Takedown.
Yeah, that one's that's fine. I just that's one I associate with Xbox just because that's where I played it. But
that's fair. Yeah, I get that. Yes, but and that's what I'm saying. Third party games are gonna be a little bit weird, but I want to get them on the list for consideration at least.
I'm trying to think of I was thinking of other racing games. I know people really like the Gran Turismos for this generation. I don't know how much I get worked up about that. I would say there's a lot of good 3D platformers on the system. I just haven't played Slide. I know there's people like it, so I don't want to just discount Slide.
Yeah, but
immediately, I like the Ratchet and Clanks a lot, but I do like Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy a lot. I think it's especially
you want to do one of each just for consideration.
We could do. It's Jak's weird because there's some people who are going to really push for Jak 2. I like Jak 1 because it's the one that's the most like Mario 64, basically. So I'd probably go there, and then
a precursor Ratchet legacy, you mean? I can't believe you would forget the subtitle.
Yeah, I forgot the subtitle. Embarrassing. Yep. I know. I do actually kind of forget which of the first 3 Ratchet games people are the most passionate about, because the ones I honestly really care about is Crack in Time and now the newer one. So I don't know. Ratchet 3 is best. Okay, then Ratchet Clank 3, that's Up Your Arsenal,
yeah,
I believe.
Arsenal, yeah, okay.
Going Commando is 2. There you go. We did it.
Arsenal. Okay. I mean, I have like a handful of other third-party games that I kind of would be interested to just maybe throw a bunch out and kind of see what your appetite is for them.
Sure.
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
I just, man, I don't know. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this meme even in my head. I was at the retro store looking at PS2 games. It is like, I was thinking of like the guy who comes in to flirt with the lady who works at the office, and I'm like, original game for PS2. It's like, oh, you're so sweet. Then it's like multi-platform game that's on PS2. It's like, oh, HR.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I am.
This is the worst version of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. That's why I'm like, I want to like kind of see how you feel, because I think I agree with that for the most part.
Yeah, I just like don't want. Yeah, just like nah, no.
Well, okay, The Simpsons Hit and Run.
No.
Yep.
Xbox.
Like Soul Calibur 2.
Absolutely not.
Right. Yep. And
how dare you?
Was the Warriors multi-platform?
That one might not be, but I never played it.
Oh, okay, that's a good game. But I don't know if it's top 10 worthy. It's like,
so here's like so chat just said Katamari, and that's one that's like only on PS2. And
yeah,
it's like really
Katamari Damacy is definitely gonna get considered. Katamari.
Yeah, so that's like the stuff. Like when I think about especially when we're thinking 10 best PS2 games,
Yep.
I just don't think these like inferior versions of multi-platform games are really going to be able to make the cut.
Yep, and it's I think all those things make the PS2 library incredible, but I don't think they make the top 10.
Right. And there were some like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is multi-platform, but that one just actually does like kind of feel best on PlayStation 2, and it had the network play and whatnot, so that was fun.
Yeah, you're not going to play that on a Xbox controller, Jesus.
Yeah. What about Twisted Metal Black? People don't talk about. It's funny, even though that show was popular enough, I still feel like people don't talk about Twisted Metal a lot, and somehow
I've never been a Twisted Metal guy personally,
Okay.
And I know Black is one of the good ones, and I think I've played it before, but it just never moved me all that much. I thought those games were kind of boring.
Here's one that's a very well liked game, a game that reviewed well, and it was PS2 exclusive, I believe at the time, is Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, I was wondering if you bring up the Devil May Cry games.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of people, I know people might say 5 now, but I think a lot of people would still say that's the best entry in that series. So that makes sense.
Okay. For me, I think we were kind of getting to a point where I think I have a lot of this stuff. I'm glad people reminded me of Katamari Damacy, because that's definitely one. I think the last, like, sort of maybe deep cut that I love, it would be on my top 10 is Mark of Kree.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mark of Kree fine. I think it's like top 10 is maybe a tall order for it, because again, there are so many good PS2 games.
For me, that's like one that like probably sneaks in at number 10 on my personal list. So I could see it not making our list together here as we're fixing things. Yeah, Sean does mention Persona 4. I was going to let you decide on that.
My thing with the Persona game, I think that I'm
Mike,
just gonna
not for Persona. Come on, with Resident Evil 4 I get, but not for Persona.
Well, that's different, because they just like made that game better with Golden. And
that doesn't make it not exist on the PS2. Come on,
kind of does
man.
for me. I'm like, I'm never gonna play that version. I'm gonna play Golden.
All right, listeners, I tried.
You tried. I appreciate you. And like same thing with 3. Even I probably liked Portable more than the base game, even though there were some compromises. And then we have the remake now. I'm just gonna play that. Yeah, maybe we should start working from here. I'm sure there's a lot of PS2 games. Again, like we didn't do like the Gran Turismo. It's just not necessarily our thing.
I mean, like, we have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas up there, but I also like Vice City and 3. But San Andreas probably is the one we want on the list.
I think San Andreas probably makes the most sense. Like, yeah,
I like
just
3 the best personally, but that's definitely like a nostalgia thing
interesting.
for me. Yeah.
Okay, I probably would feel most. I think San Andreas makes the most sense.
It's the one that, like, again, if we're trying to put a list out that it feels like, oh, we're fixing the list because it has the right games on it. I think it's San Andreas.
Yeah. There's definitely some that are like have big fan favorites, like Dark Cloud 2. I just don't really know a ton about it personally. Or, well, how do you feel? There's stuff like Amplitude, or even the Guitar Hero, right?
Guitaru Man.
Guitaru Man.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think these are part of the tapestry of what makes the PS2 library so impressive. But I don't know if any of those necessarily make a top 10.
Not a single Final Fantasy on this list.
Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X is on there. We had a whole discussion about it. I think we have our 10 games probably on here. Maybe we should fix. So we have right now we have space for 3, but we can also get rid of some other ones.
Right.
What 3 do we definitely want to push. I think we both are in agreement that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 needs to be up there.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, that's easy.
And I think I think you like Kingdom Hearts 2 enough to justify it being up there. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
to me.
I think it should at least be on there.
It looks right on that list. And then I think I immediately jumped to Katamari. But I get like Final Fantasy X should probably be up there. A Final Fantasy, I don't know.
I think maybe both those should be up there. I think you put Katamari in there now, and like I probably would eventually get rid of something here for Final Fantasy X.
Yeah. Okay. So for audio listeners, right now, here's the 10 that were the new working list: Okami, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Silent Hill 2, Sly Cooper, Kingdom Hearts 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Katamari Damacy, and God of War. I think there's like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I can bold some of these that are definitely staying. Like for me, I think Shadow of the Colossus is definitely staying up there.
That Shadow of the Colossus is a lock, and we just put on Kingdom Hearts 2 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, so those are obviously not going anywhere.
Right.
Snake Eater is a lock, but subsistence.
Subsistence. Yeah, of course.
We're fixing that part of it.
Right.
For
It's actually crazy for it not to be subsistence.
Part of me is like, oh, it's just subsistence. You don't even have to keep the Snake Eater part.
Okay. Subsistence. There we go.
Don't worry, I'm here to help you with the subtitles.
Yes.
Once again,
Mr. Subtitles. Yep.
We kind of talked about this, but God of War 1 versus 2. It's like I feel like I know 2's a better game, and yet 1 is more memorable for me. And part of me is like, look, that was this guy's number 1 game. Maybe we should respect that. At least I don't know if we can get rid of his number 1 game.
And I think the argument that God of War is like also one of the 10 best games probably, and it's like, maybe it's a matter of do you want to take God of War 1 or 2? I think we keep God of War on one on there and recognize that that's the reason God of War 2 isn't. I think we should get rid of Okami.
Look, I like Okami fine, but top 10 is that's hard for me.
Yeah.
How about we put Final Fantasy X on there? Get rid of Okami.
Sounds good.
Yay.
This is so foul. This is messed up.
Yeah. And Silent Hill 2. Gosh, there's a lot there. I like Silent Hill 2. I don't think I like it as much as some people, but it's, part of this, like, this isn't just necessarily us. It's us trying to make like what we think would be the list,
right,
for multiple people. And like a lot of people do like Silent Hill 2, and that is definitely game. It did come on Xbox, but I don't think it was like any significantly better on Xbox. I mean, it was a PS2 first game.
Like, let's complete the conversation. What are you thinking could replace Silent Hill 2?
That's one of the things, is that I think Silent Hill 2 fills a niche here that maybe we don't easily get to replace, especially since we took down Resident Evil 4, and there's like really a great other Resident Evil game here, because that franchise was so GameCube coded this generation.
Yeah.
So like if Silent Hill 2 fills a very nice niche, and maybe that's why I would keep it on the list.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so I guess maybe we can have the conversation of, we do have Sly Cooper up there, but that is keeping off Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank.
And there's a part of me that's fine with that. Again, even though I haven't really played Sly Cooper, people seem so into it, and I just kind of believe them. So Sly Cooper being the one that gets that recognition, that's completely okay with me.
Okay, that works for me. All right, so here's what we're leaving off the list still is Burnout 3 Takedown, Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, Devil May Cry 3, and then I just put Okami down here for some reason. Obviously, a whole list of other potential PlayStation 2 games, but those are the ones that we have kind of in discussion. Maybe thinking none of those are actually going to make the cut now.
The Devil May Cry 3 is the one that's hurting me the most,
sure,
not having on there, honestly.
Well, what's the most on the bubble for you if you want to have that conversation real quick?
Right, that's the problem. Like, it maybe is Silent Hill 2.
Right.
And now I'm like, well, Devil May Cry 3 is also filling a niche that's maybe not really happening here. I guess Kingdom Hearts 2 sort of is. For sure, just being an action game.
I mean, God of War is character action. I know it's different than Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's close enough.
But I mean, do you want Devil May Cry 3 instead of God of War?
I mean, I kind of do, but I definitely think that Devil May Cry 3 is probably a better game than God of War.
You should have a conversation about leaving the number 1.
I know, but that's there's a part where it's like, this is like, look, we're fixing the list. I don't know if we're like desecrating it.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
we
listen, if it gets desecrated, kind of maybe so be it a little bit. Like, it's, we got to do the work here.
We gotta do what we gotta do. All right, I'll follow you.
Mike,
Whatever.
Mike, I'm going to leave this up to you. But
I think-
no,
I
I have
guess
your
we-
back either way. Like, if you want to get rid of God of War,
yeah.
I'm fine with it.
No, I think we got to do what's right for the list and for the people who need to know what the best 10 PS2 games are. I think we got to replace God of War with Devil May Cry 3.
Wow, here it is, everybody. There you go.
Sorry.
You
Look
heard
at
it here
this asshole.
first.
What a piece
Now,
of
look,
shit.
I don't know. I know I'm a bit of a freak about being specific. I don't know if I need you to write special edition on there or not, or if it's fine the way it is. I think people understand. It's okay. Just like I don't need to write final mix for Kingdom Hearts 2. Well, you did it anyways.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
did
buddy.
it anyway. Is Sly Cooper the Thievius Raccoonus?
It is the Thievius Raccoonus, buddy. Hey, look, if you don't want to have to write that,
I kind of
that's
don't want to have to
okay.
write Raccoonus today. When I woke up today, I was like, definitely not thinking, I hope I get to write Raccoonus. Okay. The new working list. And this is kind of not in order yet. Final Fantasy X, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Silent Hill 2, Sly Cooper, Kingdom Hearts 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, Katamari Damacy, and Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition.
Now we got to get the order right.
That's right.
And I think at this one, it's easier to work from the top, like what's number one.
Yeah,
And
I think that's
there's
right.
like a few that, like, I don't think I'm going to get you to do Kingdom Hearts 2 at number one. I don't know if I would either. But like Pro Skater 3 at number one, I feel good about that. Subsistence, I feel good about at number one. Shadow of the Colossus, I feel good at number one. Those are like the three I think for me would vie for number one.
What was the first one again? I'm sorry.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Right. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, Shadow of the Colossus, and I guess
Subsistence.
Subsistence. Okay. I mean, listen, for me personally, I think it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I also think it's like the most easy one to recommend to a wider audience. That would be my argument. But I think I also see, like, when I imagine the list, seeing Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence at number one is like one where it's like, okay, yeah, of course. God, Shadow of the Colossus 2, though.
Shadow of the Colossus is, that's like so, I don't know, that's so PS2 coded.
Yeah, it's like,
right?
to me, it's like the most PS2 game. It's the reason I got a PS2.
Yeah. I think I think I might actually like Shadow of the Colossus there the most.
I love to hear that. Okay, fantastic. I can easily agree with that. Okay,
Cool.
There we go. Shadow of the Colossus at number one. Okay, so then at that point, do we want to do Metal Gear Solid 3 and then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3?
We could do Tony Hawk at 2 if you want.
Yeah, I think Tony Hawk at 2 actually makes sense at that point. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Subsistence at number 3.
Yeah, okay. That seems good to me.
Okay. All right, then do we want to just kind of make another like big move here, like big splash, like do a Katamari Damacy or Damacy?
Like
or do we want to?
Katamari's never been my thing. I'm going to have to leave it to you if you think it's that good, to be honest.
I think it's like it's like when you have a PS2 and you're getting it for all these other things, and then you hear about this Katamari game, and as soon as it like gets released, localized, you get it, and you're like, wow, this is way more fun than I even thought it would be. It's awesome. I think it is a top 10 game, but I don't think we need to push it that high. We can like leave that for now. And what do you think goes here then?
I mean, I'm a Kingdom Hearts 2 freak, so I wouldn't mind it being there.
I'm trying to see what else. I mean, I'd put Grand Theft Auto there, but I'm fine with Kingdom Hearts.
Let's do Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, I think.
And I'll be I'll be fine if you want to put Katamari before Grand Theft Auto, but I'll leave that to you.
Let's see what that looks like.
I'll tell you that I probably want like Silent Hill 2 last.
Yeah, that works for me. Then maybe Sly Cooper, since we like don't have a lot of familiarity.
Yeah, Sly
with
Cooper
it.
at 9.
And okay, so then here's how the list goes now: Silent Hill 2 at 10, then Sly Cooper, Final Fantasy 10, Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Katamari Damacy, Kingdom Hearts 2. Number 3 is Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and number 1 would be Shadow of the Colossus. The kind of part of this list that we didn't talk about yet is like, okay, are you okay with the order of Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry 3 and Grand Theft Auto?
I mean, I'd maybe swap Devil May Cry 3 and Final Fantasy 10.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking. So, all right. Does it look good to you now?
I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty right. I think you're going to have to put the Roman numeral for 2 and unbold the ones that are bolded for my sanity. But otherwise, yeah, we're looking good.
Roman number 2 for which one?
Which one do you think?
Okay, I heard you start
saying
Kingdom
Tony
Hearts.
Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Well, I mean, not number 2 for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, but there's Silent Hill 2, and I'm like, that's what I'm looking at. It's the first one. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. All right, there we go.
All right. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. I know people are gonna have problems with this list still, but boy,
sure.
To me,
PS2's
it's
a
like,
hard
you have a
one.
problem with this list, Steven? This seems like so safe in a lot of ways.
Okay, Mike, read the list.
The list, the best PS2 games of all time. Do you want me to read the original again for funsies?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's the list that we started with here from the gamer. Number 10 was Akami. Number 9, Killzone. Number 8, Silent Hill 2. 7, Sly Cooper. 6, Resident Evil 4. 5, Shadow of the Colossus. 4, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. 2, Half-Life. 1, God of War. Our list that we, after we did it and fixed it, is number 10 is Silent Hill 2. Number 9, Sly Cooper. Number 8, Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. Number 7, Final Fantasy 10. Number 6, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Number 5, Katamari Damacy. Number 4, Kingdom Hearts 2. Number 3, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. Hey, Metal Gear Solid 3 stayed at number 3 on both. That's interesting.
There you go.
Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Number 1, Shadow of the Colossus. And I see right below that is Downhill Domination made it on the list somehow. That's very good to see. How many games stayed from the original list? I believe Silent Hill 2 did, Sly Cooper did, Shadow of the Colossus did, San Andreas, Snake Eater. So five games still stayed on the list.
Yeah.
I think it's what it was last time, even on the NES one. So even though this one kind of seemed a lot more questionable, in some ways we kind of got a similar result.
The degrees to which the 5 were off felt more egregious, I think.
Well, I don't know the person made this list. I bet that there's somebody who they had a PS2, right? And they weren't doing PC gaming. They didn't have a GameCube or things like that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that list is right for Zachary over there. I get it, for sure. In fact, let's give them their credit here when I tweet it. All right, that list is now fixed. Consider that a fixed list. Mike Minotti, good work.
Yes, I'm really glad now we put it online, so people who have played a third as many PS2 games as I have can yell at me about my opinions.
That's the internet. I'm looking forward to it. All right, we'll get that posted up so everyone can yell at us. We're going to take one last break. When we come back, we'll talk about what we've been playing and wrap up some super chats.
Break. You want to post that?
I am going to be good to go here in a second.
Yeah. We're going long. I don't necessarily have anything I need to talk about what I've been playing wise that I haven't talked about on something else. So,
yep, same. So I'll
just do the super chats here.
Okay, sounds good. I'll probably just mention, still playing Zelda. Okay.
Let me get my spot here. Okay, yeah, right. The GTA 6 one was the last one, so there's 3. Got it.
Cool. All right. I will get us back. Actually, let me fix the camera real quick. There's that. I just got to make you tall. I mean, capture your tallness.
Yeah, please don't. You have to.
Right. In all its glory. There we
You
go.
fight against his short energy, which he's not short.
No, that's right. It's just the energy. Okay. I am ready to bring us back in. All right, we're back. Mike, we were just talking in the break. I talked about Zelda in a bunch of places. I'm still playing that, still really enjoying it. If you want to hear my thoughts, definitely go listen to Last of the Nintendogs, listen to the Bombcast this week.
We'll do another check-in on that on Tuesday when we both play even more of it.
Exactly. I'm hoping to really make a lot of progress and be near the end. I'm in what feels like the second half of the game, or at least the second major act of the game, and that's been cool to see how things change. They do make some changes. It'll be worth talking about. We'll do that at that time. And you were saying the same thing. You don't have a lot of new stuff to talk about.
Not really, and we're already pretty long here. So
all right, give me those super chats.
Burrito says, Mike, this is for today's Blight Club. Incredible stuff as always. Thank you, Burrito. Yeah, check out the Blight Club, the now complete playthrough of Alone in the Dark for the Wii, which was just it was something. It was so much more than I was expecting.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And then so much less than a real game in so many ways.
If you told me what kind of game is it? It's not survival horror.
I gotta say,
it's not.
The called shot on this was from the era when boss fights were out of vogue. The degree to which it was out of vogue in this game was astonishing.
It is like the best example. It's funny. You're right. That's a smart thing I said.
Yeah, that was a cold shot, Mikey. That was real good.
Yeah, I was like, there's absolutely no way there's a boss fight in this game. We would never. It's just gonna end.
That was like nuts, man. Okay. I did find out that a game called Alone in the Dark, Jack's back revenge or something like that. Jack's Eyes Revenge. What came out for the Sega Saturn. That also looks pretty bad. So I got that one locked in the chamber for you if you ever really piss me off.
Okay,
it looks real bad. So,
look, I'll just say, when I think about that, it's gonna have to happen at some point. Maybe it'd be funny for Dan because it's like a fantasy. Open world, randomly generated RPG for the Sega Saturn.
Oh, you talking about Virtual Highlight? Because that was so close to being your game this time.
No, really?
Yes.
You guys almost gave me Virtual Highlight.
I was like, the entire time I'm playing Daikatana, I'm like, I got to give this bitch Virtual Highlight because I needed to hurt him in some way. But I'm like, as I'm like looking at it, researching it, I'm like, he's going to end up liking it. I know he's going to end up liking it, and it's going to drive me crazy.
I was like, maybe Jeff might. I think it is one of the canonical bad games though that still has to get done at some point. Here is Virtual Highlight.
It's exactly. That's why I'm like, I was considering. I'm like, I know it's going to happen eventually, but I think we wanted to get a little bit more clever. We clearly found the right game, so I'm very happy with how things worked out.
That's incredible. That was so close to Virtual Highlight.
So close.
I tell you what, if you had told me it's a Saturn game, my first guess would be Virtual Highlight.
Yes, of course. Yeah, part of it was, I think it was also hard to explain to Dan what Virtual Highlight even was, what he was even looking at. So it's like, you kind of have to get him excited about the game a little bit.
Yes, you do. I've noticed that. Because there's some times where I haven't been able to give you a game because I just can't sell Dan on it.
You can't right. Dan, you very much have to sell him on it. Alone in the Dark was an easy one, though, once he saw that.
Well, that's why we should just give him Virtual Highlight.
That would be maybe not a bad idea.
That one might break him because, again, we can't even help that much. It's randomly generated.
I think the people yearn for it. So, I would like to see that.
Virtual Dan Light. Anyways, thank you so much, Burrito. AK says, do we get Forza Horizon 6 in 2025? Gran Turismo 8? I don't think we're getting a new Gran Turismo for quite a while. I mean, Playground's busy with Fable. I know they have multiple teams, but do you think a new Horizon is going to happen next year?
I think it's 2026. Yeah, I think they take an extra year this generation. And that sounds right.
You think there's any way they can freshen that up a little bit? I feel like we're starting to get a little bit of another one of these. They're still very good, obviously.
There's some obvious things. It's like it doesn't have to be the social media party.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, for sure. I hope we get rid of the millennial spring break party tone.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think they need to just rework that. They honestly make it a period piece and throw it back to the X Games 1990s era. Yeah. That could be, just do something that different. It doesn't have to be a whole other idea.
About young people I can relate to.
Shit, that is what I just said. Fuck.
That is what you just said, Jeff.
Damn it. God damn it.
Incredible thing to say. The actual last Forza seems like that seems like it kind of came and went a little bit to you.
Forza Motorsport? Hell yeah. I mean, I know, I think it did pretty well in Game Pass, but it came and went.
Okay. Willow Davis says, can you do more games where we vote for Mike to lose?
I'll see what I can do.
Sure.
Incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know Chad hates to do that, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Connor Wood says new Zelda is a world filled with goobers and meeps. It sure is.
Yeah.
It is a very goober meep game.
Have you seen the new OP strat?
No.
You just
is this like the hover bike from Tears of the Kingdom?
This is for combat. You put down a water block, you grab an enemy, you put them in the water block, and almost every single one drowns instantly. I'm like, well, I'm going to use that a lot. That sounds like fun to me. So,
the Sim strat.
Yeah, right. You're just building little pools everywhere.
We're just gonna fucking drown them.
Yeah, it's great. And then you look like they're. Go ahead.
Whenever you give gamers tools, they always come out with the most fucked up shit to do in every game. That's
right. Echoes of Wisdom is a waterboarding based game. Yes.
Jesus Christ. I believe that's it for the super chats. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. That's I think that's gonna do it for us. Then I'm gonna hit this button because this show takes.
Hey, look, most people thought that the list was good that we made. Thank you.
Not bad.
69% of people did. Nice.
There we go.
Nice, we did it.
Cool. Yeah, I think PS2 is a hard one actually to satisfy everybody. With 10 games,
it's a giant library. That's why, honestly, most people do like top 25 because you do just leave things off and you kind of feel bad and get yelled at.
Right, you can do a top 25 for all the platforms in that generation. PS2 is the one where you kind of need the top 25.
Yeah,
so.
that's why it's such a great system because it has so many games.
Yep, and then that's where you can like represent some of those third-party games and kind of satisfy a lot of people.
Even with 25, I still would have put Resident Evil 4 on there.
I think I'd get it in at 25. I think I'd be fine with that.
Man.
Mike, where can people find you on the internet? What do you got going on? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the new 90s Disney about Rescuers Down Under is out. If you haven't checked that out yet, please do. I led that episode about one of, I think, probably the most underrated of the Disney animated features. So it was a lot of fun. And yeah, Blade Club did end. So we did have the finale for Alone the Mitch. So catch up on that if you haven't. The last episode was still a good time. The one before that was absolutely wild. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Those are good to watch back to back. Watch those two last episodes back to back for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But how about you? What's going on Giant Bomb tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Infrastructure Week finale?
Yeah, we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow with Game Mess Mornings at the very least. And then we'll have a BCR where we will be talking about a game that we can finally talk about. At least I'll be asking some of the guys on staff who have been playing it some questions. You'll want to tune in for that, especially for like spooky games. And then for UPF, we are... Sean, what are we doing for UPF tomorrow?
I was going to ask you about that after this show.
He's definitely. Right. I think we're supposed to do Pico Park too.
We talked about that, and I think we might do that and something else.
Right. There was something else, wasn't there? And I don't remember what it was.
It's all professional. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but Pico Park 2 is like a game where like up to 8 people can play together, and you kind of build the things out of your bodies. It'll be a good time. Maybe we play Mount Your Friends. It's a good game.
What?
Oh.
Mount Your Friends. It's a video game. They have big wiggly penises in Mount Your Friends. You ever seen Mount Your Friends?
I don't think you should do that unless your friends consent.
What? Yeah, you can't. Well, I guess you can do it in the game without their consent because they freeze. And
yeah, that's...
Oh, okay. Well, listen. Have you seen it? You got to see how wiggly these penises are. Google it real quick. Google it. I want your raw reaction to the wiggly penises before the show's over. Quick.
I almost Googled wiggly penises. I forget what it's called.
Mount Your Friends.
No, I'm not Googling that.
You can do it in incognito.
Fine.
My Dixie Wrecked. You can put
it so long. Mount Your Friends. Oh God! Of course it's one of these fucking games.
Wow, not a real game, huh?
Wow.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bullshits.
Bye.
I can't eat wings unless I'm looking at tits.
It's so long. I tried
Philosopher
to put it in
Friedrich Nietzsche. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche.
Wait, what was he trying to say?
Nietzsche.
Nietzsche?
Yeah.
All right, give me a break.